You're watching the Tommy Temper Show. Coming to you live from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Good to see everyone out there. Glad that you're able to have a fun time with us here today. Let's go. Sending it east to Quebec while we shoulder the blame. No more pipelines blocked. No more carbon tax chains. We're done. Let's go. Breaking free from their reins. Alberta freedom. Ringing loud and true. Woo. Sovereignty calling. Oh yeah. Coming through. No more woke liberalism. Stealing our way of life. Let's go. Albertans stand tall, cutting loose from the strife. Rocky Mountains watching as we claim our own land. Freedom for our families with a rifle in hand. Alberta freedom. Let the anthems roll. We're building our nation. Don't mess with us, Carney. Don't mess with us. Where the eagles soar high. We're sick of the traitors calling us traitors, that's a lie. Equalization's a thief, stealing our hard-earned pay, while they push their agendas, turning night into day. Beef ranchers and farmers, grain silos stand proud, oil rigs turning profits under Alberta's cloud. No more. That's right. Good to see everyone in there. Kimberly, hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Everybody else in the chat, we're live. We are live here today. So we're going to be able to bring you up some Alberta independence stories here. Talk to you about Alberta independence. Lots of people out there that are what I would call haters, calling us seppies, traitors, and everything else under the sun. That's okay. We're used to having people yell names at us in the schoolyard. They say it's illegal, but self-determination's all right. Like Ukraine from the Soviets. That's right. Through the night. No more sending our wealth to fund their endless schemes. Our pensions rising. Thank you very much for turning those switches on, moderator. Thank you for any moderators in the chat. Appreciate the hard work that you do. Give us a thumbs up. Sub up to the channel if you like what you see. If you sub up for Alberta independence. Let's go. We can do it. Woohoo! Haters gonna hate. You got that right. And there are a lot of haters out there, believe me. And they're getting really, really triggered too. Oh my gosh. The number of people that are triggered out there. Oh man. It's like unbelievable. It's like everyone on the left, all those lefties out there are getting so triggered. It's like the stuff that I'm seeing on the internet, other podcasts that other people are having. It's just total triggered guests on there. They're coming up with a lot of hate, a lot of discontent, but they're really, honestly, they're not. Spin City News, good to see you. Troy, hey, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, they're not coming up with any reasons why Alberta should stay in Confederation. Why should we stay in Canada? Nobody's coming up with a reasonable reason why that should happen. Meanwhile, I can come up with literally 100 reasons why Alberta should separate from Canada. Number one, we should separate from Canada because you guys are calling us seppies. You guys are calling us traitors, and you're just plain, saying, well, if you don't like living in Canada, well, go live somewhere else. Where? Living in Canada is like living in North
Korea or China or someplace like that. It's like a communist dictatorship. Carney is a dictator. He does whatever the hell he wants. He makes us pay carbon taxes and, like, oh, let's just tax the air that we breathe. Let's tax all the carbon. Oh, let's just make sure that Alberta pays and pays and pays and pays. And we'll suck all the money of Alberta. We'll bring it to Ottawa and we'll spend it as we please. And you guys can just live in poverty in Canada, okay, in Alberta. Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it at all. It's not really what we want. And yeah, at the end of the day, we want a little bit of a better life here in Alberta. We love to live in prosperity, not in poverty. I was out there yesterday on my bicycle, on my e-bike, and really the number of people that are laying on the ground drug addicted is unbelievable. Downtown Edmonton, everywhere, you can go amongst those high-rise buildings. I drove by a high-rise building, a complete high-rise building that's completely boarded up. The whole main floor of it has boards all around it. That's how bad it's getting. The mall in one of the largest high-rise buildings, Edmonton Center, a bunch of high-rise buildings in downtown Edmonton. Inside, the stores are all closed up. They're shuttered up. There's hardly anyone in there. In the middle of the day in the food court, there's hardly anything open, hardly any people there. It's like a ghost town. Downtown Edmonton is like a ghost town, and all you see is a bunch of drug addicts in every little place where there's a little spot where they can go. There's drug addicts there doing drugs, passed out. I even did a video of a guy passed out on the street. People pissed off. They're pissed off that I did a video about that. And I should show you the video here of the guy passed out on the street. I don't know what they're doing. Some kind of really car fentanyl. It's like even 10 times more strong than regular fentanyl. That's what the stuff is that's going out on the streets here. It's absolutely ridiculous. And we're living in like a nightmare. It's a nightmare world. When I sit in my house here, not bad. Because, I'm insulated from everything going on in the rest of the world. But when I get on my bicycle and drive around the neighborhood, ride around the neighborhood, even just a few blocks from where I'm at here, or even half a block from where I'm at here, we'll see tweakers on the ground. All because of the Liberal government, the Carney Liberal government. It was Carney is just the headpiece, right? The guy that's in charge of the Liberal government. But the Liberal government has been in power for over 10 years now in Canada, and ever since they have gotten in, the life in Canada has just gone to shithole, absolute shithole. The number of drug addicts, really, that's my number one concern. All these drug addicts running around getting free drugs over at the pharmacy. You have pharmacies and little stores, where they buy the rest of their stuff all over the place, and the rest of the businesses are closing up, shutting down, because there's too much theft going on, right? Theft going on all over the place. We need Alberta independence. That's what we need, because the Liberals, they're pretty much in power, and it looks like, all the people in Canada are voting Liberal all the time. And it's not going to change. As long as the Liberals are in power, it will never, ever change. So because of that, the only change that will really change my way of life and what I see for my children is for Alberta to separate from Canada and to become its own country. Okay? We need to do it. And for those of you, they're like, oh, I like the drug addicts running around. I like open drug use. I like the fact that all the stores are closing down because they're stealing stuff all the time. Food theft has gone up in Canada in food stores. We're going to be seeing food stores closing down pretty soon. We need Alberta independence. Absolutely. And for you naysayers out there, I want to see you. Who's out there? Who says that Alberta should stay in Canada? Give me a reason in the chat as to why Alberta should stay in Canada. So far, I haven't seen any good reasons at all. No good reasons for Alberta to stay in Canada. There is nothing that Alberta will get. And really, we've got nothing except an MOU. An MOU is a piece of toilet paper that you can wipe your butt with, you know. That's all this MOU was. Oh, we're going to build a pipeline. Oh, well, we'll write an MOU. You know what Carney put in that MOU? Jack the carbon taxes. The MOU is all about jacking the carbon taxes. It wasn't about building dick all. Screw Carney. Screw Carney and his craziness with his MOU. I don't know if you guys know about that, but if you live here in Canada, you know all about the MOU. But it's a piece of garbage document that was signed between our Premier and Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, the put in power. Carney was not even elected by the Liberal Party. You know that. He wasn't even elected. He was installed as the leader, right? Because, he's like the ex-banker of the UK that the UK hated as a banker because he like brought the UK down to his knees with his crappy banking policies that he did for the UK. So, the same thing. He's just plain bad for Canada here. Really bad for Canada. All he does is hop on his jet and jets around all over the place. In fact, I'm beginning to think that the only reason that Mark Carney became the leader of Canada, the Prime Minister of Canada, is so that he could travel around the world on a jet and see the world. He sees all kind of countries all over the place. He's more interested in visiting other countries and being a tourist in other countries. And that jet is like, man, every week he's off to another country, you know? And it's like under the guise of making a trade deal, trying to make a trade deal with China. What? You want to bring more Chinese buy cars into Canada? That's about the only trade deal that you've really made here that's of any decency. Well, in fact, that's not even decent. I wouldn't say that bringing Chinese cars into Canada is a good idea. It's not a good idea. What, are you going to have these Chinese cars riding around on our military bases? What? Is that the next thing that's going to happen? Yeah, we need spy cars all over our military bases. Thanks a lot, Edward Cam. Nice to see you in there. We've got broccoli, sweet potato in there. Good to see you. Let's see who else is in there. Lots of good people filing into the chat here. Good to see everyone. Let's go over a few stories that I was watching here today. We'll just go over this one here, which is a good one. That we had the 300,000 signatures for Alberta independence were delivered to Alberta elections. So that was a big thing that happened. That happened on Monday. That was Monday. Today is Friday. And ever since that happened, what happened is there was a leak. A leak of voters that happened between the Republican Party, which has nothing to do with independence, and the Centurion Project, which has nothing to do with Stay Free, that collected all the signatures. Okay, so don't try and blanket, carte blanche, paintbrush all of the 300 signatures that were collected legitimately by people out on the streets, boots on the ground. Okay, not from some kind of a voter list. Okay, and if it was from a voter list, okay, we'll see in the future. And if there were some names on that list that were not supposed to be there, well, when the Elections Alberta actually has a chance to look at those numbers, which at the moment there's a court injunction by the natives to hold up counting. The natives have said you can't even count the names that were collected. Oh my gosh. But we already know there's 300,000 people in Alberta that will vote for independence. Absolutely. And there are tons of people that are afraid of their bank accounts being frozen. I'm not afraid of that, okay? I'm not afraid of being thrown in jail for wanting to go for independence. I'm not afraid of any of that stuff at all. Like the government, if they do stuff like that, hey, that'll just be another black mark on the government. We already know what they've done to other people in the past. And if that happens to me, oh, well, things happen. I'll have to do that. And there's other people out there that go, oh, you guys are clowns, or you're idiots, or you're traitors, or you're seppies, or you're whatever. Yeah, well, they're usually people that live in Ontario or Quebec or whatever, maybe New Brunswick or someplace like that, you know. You're like in other parts of Canada. But if you live in Alberta, you're like way, way, way pro-Alberta independence, because you know that it's going to be better for you, better for your children, and a better life. I can go over all of the benefits of why Alberta independence would be good for people in Alberta. But let's just move on to the next story about Alberta independence here. Let's see. Oh, this one here comes from Rebel News, and of course the lefties hate Rebel News because it's one of the few right-wing, sources of information out there. Because let's face it, CBC is really, 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 really far left. Okay, CBC. Like, shame on you, CBC, for not representing me, not representing anybody that's right-wing in Canada. You are absolutely extreme left propaganda. CBC, that's why you're known as Communist Broadcasting Corporation, you know? Like, come on. Like, I don't even watch CBC television. I haven't watched CBC television in such a long time. And CBC television and radio gets $1.5 billion a year from Canadians across Canada. Shame on you for taking my tax dollars and using it for left-wing propaganda, okay? We're sick and tired of CBC, sick and tired of your left-wing propaganda, sick and tired of your mouthpieces that are like, oh, we're neutral. We're really neutral. We'll just say it the way it is. No, you're not. You're left-wing propaganda, and that's why we hate CBC with a passion, okay? And I will be the first one. If Alberta does secede and becomes an independent country, I'll be the first one in there to make sure that CBC gets turfed out of Alberta, okay? And that we don't have to spend any more money, any more Alberta money. We don't need to be sending any Alberta money whatsoever to Ottawa to fund that left-wing cesspool of propaganda known as the CBC Corporation, okay? Have I made that clear? Anything else you want to say on that? Yeah. Okay. But anyways, here's a story from Rebel News, and this story is let's see. Let me just look close here. Ezra Levant from the Rebel News says, "I drive a 14-year-old car." Okay, and really, I drive a truck. My truck out there is 2014. Okay, so it's not even a brand new truck. Okay, how old is that? Okay, hey, it's over 10 years old. Okay, and Ezra says, I drive a 14-year-old car. My mortgage rate is going up next month. That's correct. Yeah, I have a mortgage on this house that I'm living in here right now, and my mortgage rate is going up. Absolutely, it's going up, nearly double. I can't believe the price of groceries. What a fool I've been. I should just lie about being a refugee. I'd get a new SUV and a new house, courtesy of chumps like taxpayers, okay? We are out, and this is a bit here, which is, we are outside of a government-funded refugee hotel doing a story when we noticed a man getting into a brand new SUV, okay? We asked him how he could afford it, and it turns out he used to live in the hotel. Now the government pays for his car and his living expenses. Check this story out. You won't believe it, okay? Here we go.
Hi, and this here is David Menzies.
Hey, how you doing?
One
sir?
channel audio.
Good. Do you stay in this hotel?
Which one?
Do you stay here?
Stay here.
No, I wanted to stay there. I was stay here.
Oh.
Now I just rent my home.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a refugee, sir, yourself?
Yes, of course.
Oh, where are you from?
I'm from Ethiopia.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
And did you originally stayed here? You said then, right?
First I was here.
Okay.
Then I just rent my home.
Okay, then you were able to find a job then, and you can pay the rent.
Yeah, I still have no job. But
Oh, okay. Then who's paying the rent, sir?
is it? Are you a journalist?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you recording everything?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you ask me first why?
Oh, well, I thought we're just having a conversation here. I don't mean you no harm, but I we're just trying to get answers about who's staying here and
Okay.
where they go afterwards. So you have a home, and I guess is the government paying the rent for your home?
Of course, yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, okay then. Where is this home located? Is it in Pickering?
Yes, it's in Pickering.
Okay, all right then. All right, well, thank you so much for your time, sir. Good luck. Okay, thank you.
Bye, have a
Bye-bye.
good day.
Yeah.
See you later.
Okay, driving a brand new car, living in accommodation that's paid for by the government. How can he afford a brand new car if he's just a newcomer in Canada? When guys like Ezra Avant running the Rebel news agency is driving a 14-year-old car. Even I'm driving a car that's over 10 years old, and yet these guys are driving brand new cars, and he doesn't work. He said he isn't working, and he's just a newcomer in Canada. Like, how does that happen? Where, and meanwhile, you've got a guy that's on a pension that worked all his life in Canada, and he's making maybe a maximum of $1,300 a month, probably even less than that, depending on what his situation is. And you've got newcomers that are able to afford brand new cars. I have a friend that's on AISH in Alberta, and, he's always driving an old van that's always breaking down, and half the time it doesn't work. He's just driving people around, some friends or whatever, to make a little supplemental income or whatever, and can barely live from day to day, getting food from the food bank. He's one of the people that are on AISH, whatever, and wherever you're at, or government assistance, and you're handicapped or whatever, you're getting your food from the food bank because you don't have enough to pay your rent and to be able to live. It's a sad country that we live in here. Absolutely a sad country. Now, show your pride. Show your pride if you're an Albertan. Join up with the parades that are going on. There's lots of parades. There's going to be lots of events and things like that between now and the October 19th vote for independence. So if you're pro-independence, get out there. Go to a store that sells flags and buy yourself an Alberta flag. I've got 3 flags. I fly a flag on the back of my truck. I have, I don't know, you've probably seen a flag emblem that I've got on the back of my truck, like a decal with an Alberta flag on it and Alberta independence on it. Get a bumper sticker. Support the movement. Support Alberta independence. Like, get out there and do it. You know what I mean? Like, just do it. Show your pride. Show that you're with Alberta. Wear blue. In fact, I should wear blue myself. Hang on a second. I feel like I should actually have a shirt on it that says Alberta Independence, and I'm going to do that too. But hang on a second. Let me change my shirt and put on a blue shirt here. Hang on. I have to actually do that. Hang on. Wait a minute. Stand by a second while I change my shirt. I'm not going to change it right here, but I will change my shirt and I'll be right back so that I feel more patriotic to be an Albertan. Okay, stand by. There you go. I feel more patriotic already, dressing up in a blue shirt. There you go. It doesn't say anything on it yet, but hey, I'm gonna make sure that I look into that and get myself an embroidered shirt or with a sticker or something on here that says Alberta Independence. Okay, because Tommy Temper is pro-independence. Absolutely, we're like gung ho for the show. We're for it all. Judy in there. Hey, Judy. Good to see you. Troy is in there. Looking good. See what Troy has to say. Better be something good. What's that? I'll never, nor I will ever stop, or go so low as to dox anyone. Okay, we got some doxing talk going on in the chat there. But anybody with any pro-independence, comments or anything like that, any comments, anything that I should address in the chat, let me just look at the chat there. What's that? Jesus Christ, someone needs meds. Not me. What kind of comment is that? Come on, you guys. Get with the program here, okay? Anybody against independence there have anything to say about the topic here so far? Should Alberta, should we separate? Or are you guys like, no, that's really bad, Tommy. Don't do that. Stay in Canada because we need your cash flow. we need your cash flow. Stay in Canada. Yeah, okay. We know what's going on there. Okay, let me bring on the next bit here because the chat is off on a different rampage or something like that. Okay, what's going on here? The official record on the internet says Canada's shocking 85% immigrant to citizen rate, world's fastest passport factory. Whoa, we're a passport factory. While the world fights over borders, Canada runs the IKEA of immigration. What? We're the IKEA of immigration? Well, I would believe that. I know what it's like when I go out there. Hell, I was at the Ledge building there. All I saw in front of the Ledge building was people that looked like immigrants taking pictures in front of the Ledge building. I didn't see any, old stock Canadians out on the streets there. I did see some old stock Canadians that were bent over, using fentanyl and stuff like that. The unhoused people are the old stock Canadians. I don't see any newcomers bent over doing fent and stuff like that. They seem to have enough money to have government supplied housing and food on their plate and driving brand new cars. Oh my gosh. So well. While the world fights over borders, Canada runs an IKEA of immigration. Flat pack citizenship in just 3 years. Oh my gosh. A jaw-dropping 85% of immigrants become full Canadian citizens. One of the highest rates in the world for long-standing CIC News government stats and OECD comparisons. Arrive with a suitcase, leave with a passport, free healthcare, voting rights, and the sudden need to apologize for existing. The paperwork was faster than getting poutine at 2 a.m., said one new citizen. Translated from 47 languages. Official government statement. We're number one at turning newcomers into Canadians. Please form an orderly line and remember to remove your shoes. Sure, many still can't find housing or a doctor. Yeah, that's true. But at least they can now complain as official taxpayers. Canada, where we turn newcomers into Canadians quicker than we can build apartments. There you go. That's what life is like in Canada. Canada's shocking 85% immigrant to citizen rate, world's fastest passports factory. There you go. And there's the numbers to prove it. Immigrant, say 85%. Oh my gosh! We're even faster than Australia, the UK, the USA, or Germany. Woohoo! Look at that. There's our claim to fame in Canada here. And you guys out there don't believe it. You don't believe it at all. Hey, it's Vaughn Peapad in there. Oh my God, that's Vaughn's troll in the chat there, because Vaughn used to put pee pads out there for her dogs, so she's got some troll there named Vaughn Peapad. Sorry to hear that, Vaughn, that there's a troll out there trolling you. It's craziness out there. But just remember that, hey, how about this? What's your number one reason? For supporting Alberta independence? I'll tell you. I'll go first. their future. Their future. That's the number one reason for supporting Alberta independence. The future of the children. The future of everyone. Okay? Because we want a better and brighter future for all of the youngsters. It's about them. It's not about us. It's about them. We want the people, the newborn people in Canada to have a bright future. We don't want everything to be squelched over by a bunch of criminals coming into our country, okay? The criminals are the problem, right? And if you look at the faces of the criminals when the police arrest them, it's all newcomers. 99.9% of the criminal activity in Canada is newcomers. Well, maybe not that. I don't want to quote an exact number, but a lot. And I'm talking especially about bad crime with guns, crime with stealing cars, crime with, like high-level crime, like breaking into jewelry stores and stuff like that. A lot of that is newcomers that are doing stuff like that, and we have to put a stop to that. We need to, lower immigration a little bit. Oh, you don't believe me? Oh, okay. Well, let's go over this little story here, okay? This comes to us from New Brunswick. New Brunswick, where Bill in New Brunswick, he says, quote, let me just move this to where we can actually, he says, I live in New Brunswick in a rural settlement on a dead-end road about 12 kilometers outside the limits of the largest city in the province, okay? So he knows what he's talking about. And what his problem out there is this, okay? He's got newcomers, as you can see. It doesn't look like old stock Canadians, but newcomers. And they all have weapons, okay? Look at this. He lives on a dead-end road. There are 28 families that live on the end of the road. 1 active duty RCMP member, 2 retired RCMP members, I am one, and an active duty correctional officer. Every week, there is a white Elantra with 3 new Canadians who go to the end of the road into the Irving shoppings and spend a couple of hours shooting rifles, shotguns, and handguns. You know that handguns are illegal in Canada. No targets, no backdrops, no safety lanes, nothing. Just shooting wherever they feel like, shooting into the air, shooting around into the bush, shooting everywhere. Me, my neighbors, and the neighborhood children drive our ATVs on the numerous trails that we have built in the area. There are 3 homes about 200 meters from where they shoot. One of the retired RCMP members and her 2 siblings. We have notified the RCMP in the Department of Natural Resources on several occasions, but nothing has been done. About 10 of my redneck neighbors have decided that the next time they come out and shoot their games, that they will not be leaving. The picture of them is not them, but you get the idea. Okay, so it's not these people, but yeah, this picture comes from a previous incident where people went out there and took pictures of these guys doing this kind of stuff. But that's what's happening in Canada. That's what we're importing into Canada. This is what the people, these guys are not good people. These people are criminals and all kind of stuff like that. They're not vetting who's coming into Canada, and they're ending up all over Canada, not just in the eastern provinces, but in Ontario, in Quebec, in Manitoba, in Alberta, and BC. And we're hearing more and more and more about gun crimes. How do you like my blue shirt? Does it look nice? I just put it on there, by the way. I had my black T-shirt on, but now I've got a nice blue one here. And the blue shirt, go out there and get yourself a blue shirt. this is a symbol. The symbol blue is the symbol for Alberta independence. So if you live in Alberta and if you can't afford to buy an actual blue flag like you see in the background, at least go out there and get a blue shirt. And, that way you're walking around with your blue shirt, even if it doesn't have anything on it. It's like, yeah, I'm like pro-Alberta independence, I'm a redneck, okay? I'm a seppy. I'm a terrorist. I'm a, whatever you want to call me, bad guy. But really, honestly, I'm not a bad guy, even though I'm probably on Mark Carney's terrorist list. Hang on. If you see Tommy Temper arriving at a Liberal rally or a Mark Carney rally, make sure you turf him out of here because, he's on our ISIS terrorist list for, opening his mouth up and, giving a little bit of vocal retribution to the situation. Yeah, that's what we're up to here. A little, yeah. Next, I'll be arrested for a vocal, something that I said. You know what I mean? Hey, here's the next bit here. In Canada, we have these planes that fly around. They do air shows, air shows and stuff like that. They're known as the snowbirds, the affectionate snowbirds. I love them. They're like a great show. Well, anyways, the snowbirds in this picture here, I'll bring up a picture of the snowbirds. You can see it's a group of, I don't know how many, maybe 10 jets that fly around in formation, and it's like really a great thing. It's a great show. Well, Carney sends the Ukraine $500 million a month, and not only that, they send money to other countries for like ludicrous stuff like LG women's groups in Biafra or something like that. Just the most ridiculous woke crap that you can ever imagine. But he wants the snowbirds, the military flying team, to take a 5-year break in order to save Canada some money. Oh my God. He wants to basically shut down the snowbirds for 5 years so he can send money to whatever ludicrous woke things in all over the world. That's where all the money is going, and we don't even have enough. We don't have enough. We're $1 trillion in debt, soon to be $1.5 trillion in debt. Absolutely crazy. Canadian Spider-Man, thanks a lot for checking out the channel. Canadian Spider-Man in the chat. He's a good Canadian. And you were just in Edmonton. I wish to hell that I would have been able to meet you, have a little meetup, have a coffee with you or a beer or something like that. Canadian Spider-Man, type !link in my chat so that my bot can drop your link in the chat so that people can sub up to you. Sub up to my good friend. I just met him there just a little while ago. But he Canadian Spider-Man, he talks about travel and stuff like that. If you're interested in traveling around the countryside and doing fun stuff. I'm into travel myself, too. I've actually got a camper van, believe it or not, and we're going to be traveling in that camper van. We went on a trip there last year with it, had some fun, and so look forward for us going mobile, traveling around Alberta. We're going to go to Jasper this year for sure, and go to the I think it's called the Maeti Hot Springs. Go to a couple of hot springs and stuff like that. We're probably even going to go to Banff, Jasper, that whole thing, and maybe the run in between Banff and Jasper, which should be fun. I want to go back over near the Rockies there, close to Sylvan Lake, where I have a lake house at Sylvan Lake. In fact, I'm going to be going there later today. We're going to be going mobile to Sylvan Lake. I have a party to go to in Sylvan, so that should be fun. At about 5:30 today, we'll be having a party and having some mukbang and stuff like that. It'll be a fun time. But the snowbirds basically are in trouble because Mark Carney wants to shut them down for 5 years. Well, you know what that's going to do to airplanes? A whole bunch of airplanes are not going to get a whole bunch of maintenance. They're going to be in bad shape in 5 years' time. And you know what? They're probably going to have to end up scrapping the whole snowbirds thing because Carney wants to send money all over the place, and he wants to take money and borrow money and put it into a sovereign debt fund. Oh my God, Carney is so Stupid. Ding dong. You know, like, oh my God. And meanwhile, wants to bring more people into the country. Oh my God. What the hell is happening to Canada? We're just going to hell in a handbag. It's like, I feel like, you know, I may as well, if you can't beat them, join them. You know what I mean? So we may as well. May as well have fun. Okay, what's new out there in Canada? What's Canada like these days?
You bloody fucking phone is fucking ringing bastard. Listen now, you bloody phone
Oh,
telephone
my God.
fucking ring.
Oh,
Bloody hell, pick your fucking
geez.
phone up, you bastard motherfucking cunt. Your bloody telephone. A bloody
It's getting to be a
fucking
hell in a
ring
handbag
bastard.
living here. And
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a.
people are going to go, oh,
I'm
Tommy
fucking
Depper,
telling
you
fucking
racist.
sick and tired
No,
of this bloody
I'm not a
fucking
racist.
phone. I'm telling you,
I'm just,
motherfucker, you pick your
I'm
fucking
just saying,
phone up, you bloody
if you
bastard.
can't beat them, join them, right? That's all it's about here. That's all. Don't worry. But you have to admit, we're doing a good show. Yeah, Big Dog, you're getting your messages deleted. Yeah, we don't want any, trashing other people. No trash talk of any other people in the chat, okay? Please don't do that, because otherwise you might get a timeout. We don't like to time out anybody. We like to have free speech, but free speech should be limited to no bashing other people, okay? You can say, on the left, you can say, I hate Alberta independence, or Tommy Temper, you're a traitor, or something like that. I don't mind if you call me that. Quack, hey, good to see you, Quack. Coming in from Edmonton. Quack13 YEG. YEG is the three-letter acronym for the airport here in Edmonton. And nice to see you in there. Yeah. So anyways, speaking of the airport there, the snowbirds are going to be non gratis in a little while, unfortunately. We've got this bit here. We've got this guy who is Justin Trudeau's ex-boyfriend, Jagmeet Singh, from the NDP party. And he's basically ripping around on a skateboard like a 1990s kid, living it up after milking the tits off our country. Worse than the Somalis in Minnesota. He stuck around, instead of calling for an election, he stuck around to make sure that he's going to get his pension. And now now you can see him living high on the hog on his pension. Oh my God. You know, the guy is just a disgrace to Canada. I don't like him. I never did like him. And really, honestly, he brought the NDP party right down to its knees, to where they hardly have any seats at all in Parliament. And bye-bye, Jagmeet Singh. Yeah, we don't want to hear from you. I don't care what the hell you have to say. Obviously, it's nothing good for me. Oh, hang on. But we will show his skateboard in here. Hang on, because I didn't really have a chance to show you the actual skateboard here, just to prove that he is indeed drinking his vitamin water on his pension with his gray hair there, because he's not doing anything now other than riding his little skateboard around in British Columbia. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Yeah, Jagmeet. Bye-bye, Jagmeet. You're gone. In fact, that's probably the last time I'm going to bring up his name. He's like basically 0, 0, 0, 0. Oh, but what about this business of the separatist movement here? Eva Chipiuk says, lies, lies, and more lies. It's a wonder why public trust is lost and the citizens are rising up. And look we've got this story just in, which is RCMP found no evidence of foreign interference in the Alberta separatist movement, the minister says. So, there is this business of some kind of a group in the Netherlands that has some YouTube channels that are promoting separatism in Alberta. There is absolutely that AI stuff that's going on. Absolutely, that is happening. But the RCMP have found no evidence of foreign interference. So, there's some stuff going on, but it's a true blue Alberta-led independence movement, right? With guys like me, guys from Alberta. And really, you notice that I'm not big on YouTube. I'm not big on Facebook, but I'm one of the few people I'm an actual Albertan. I was born in Alberta. And like, I am absolutely pro Alberta independence. The people that are anti-independence are people that weren't even born in Alberta. They're like over in Ontario or Quebec or places like that, or Eastern Canada, and they're going, "Oh, please don't leave, Alberta. Please don't leave. We need your oil money. We hate your dirty, rotten, bad, stinky oil. But we want the money from selling that oil." Oh, okay. What about a pipeline to these? No pipeline. I don't want a pipeline running through Quebec. No, it is dirty oil. The dirty oil will never come to Quebec. Never, ever. We do not want that. Oh, but we want money. Oh, we want the money. Send the equalization payment. Send equalization payment. We need 13 billion per year equalization payment. Don't stop that from coming by separating. We do not like Alberta to separate from Canada. We need you to be sending money. Keep the money flow. Flow the money, but don't flow no oil. Okay, we got it. Well, where are you getting your gas and oil from in Quebec and Ontario? Where's it coming from? Well, it come from the United States. The United States refinery sent it up here. Oh, where does the refinery in the United States get its oil from? Oh, well, I don't know, and I don't care. Yeah, well, it comes from Alberta. That's where it comes from, okay? So you're actually using Alberta oil to, run your diesel trucks to get your food to your stores, whether you like it or not, you're using our oil. So don't call our oil dirty when you're actually using it. You're the dirty people for even suggesting something like that. Leaders over there in Quebec. Shame on you. Shame on you. But anyways, the RCMP found no evidence of foreign interference in Alberta's separatist movement, okay? That's the story. That's the story of the day, okay? So, we're seeing it, and it's live out there. Okay, Jason Levine says about Alberta, something that's very important to note here. The Alberta Prosperity Project and Stay Free Alberta have not been named in the so-called investigation, okay, because there's this investigation going on over a list of names, of voter names, that was leaked out by apparently a party called the Republican Party, okay, and it was leaked to a group called the Centurion Project, which is not Stay Free Alberta, which is not the Alberta Prosperity Project, and it is not the Tommy Temper Show, okay? It was not leaked to me. I don't know anything about that list, okay? I'm not even one of the guys that collected any names. The people were 7,000 good people, good, honest Albertans that collected signatures from actual people that walked up to them and signed, okay? And if there's some kind of a list going on, the list is a list is a list. A list got leaked, and it's not the story. But the media is making it out. This is why the title of my stream here is the lefties. Let me just read it here. Hang on. Actually, it's not that. It's Alberta Independence for the Win. Okay. But it should have been the lefties in the media are triggered by Alberta separation. Okay. And they're going absolutely berserk. Okay. That's what the actual story is all about. And I don't know why this software keeps putting up their Alberta Independence for the Win. But anyways, that's not bad. I don't mind that. That works out okay for my stream here as well. But anyways, there's an investigation going on. But you know what? It doesn't involve me. It doesn't involve all of the 300,000 signatures that were collected. It doesn't involve the Prosperity Project. It doesn't involve Stay Free Alberta. So, just get over it. Get over it, okay? It's a blip in the news, but you know what? It's bad news, but it's news. And it keeps the independence movement at the top of the news cycle, okay? Which is actually a good thing, because I was taught a long time ago, okay, when you're running a business and when you're advertising, that the best thing is free advertising, because it's the media going berserk and coming up with crap that is talking about you all the time, okay? And you don't have to pay for that advertising, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's good or it's bad. It's still free advertising. It keeps you and whatever you're doing on the top of people's minds. And you can't pay for that kind of advertising, really, honestly, because you know that the mainstream media wouldn't be saying anything about Alberta independence. They would be shutting it because it's like a right-wing thing, okay? It's mostly right-wingers that are really pushing for Alberta independence, and it's the left-wingers, the NDP peers of the world, like Nenshi and people like that are going, no, we don't want Alberta independence. It's actually bad and not good, and yeah, we want to be part of Canada and part of being dragged down. We want more drug addicts out in the streets. We want more fentanyl. We want more open drug use. Yeah, and we want money to be sucked out of Alberta to the rest of Canada, so that Alberta lives in a perpetual debt. And that's what's going on here. We want less health care. We want fewer schools. We want larger classrooms. Yeah, well, okay, that's what you want if you want Alberta to stay in Canada. If you want better health care, you want Alberta independence. If you want more schools, you want Alberta independence. If you want fewer immigrants, you want Alberta independence. If you want more jobs for regular people like you and I, for my children, for your children, then you want Alberta independence. If you want a better pension plan, like how about double the amount that you're going to be getting from your pension plan within Canada, then you want an independent Alberta. How about if you want our own police force, right? Sending whatever money you send to the federal government, to the RCMP, you're only getting about half of it back in actual policing in rural areas. Why do you think there's so much crime, right? Because there's not enough policing. Because your money is being sent to Ottawa and bureaucrats with the pension plan. That's where your money is going. Bureaucrats, and they're investing your pension plan into woke bullshit, that is hardly bringing back any return. It's like the poorest investing ever is with our pension plan over in Ottawa. We should have our own plan within Alberta. We can do it ourselves, and we can invest in better things that are going to bring in a better return. We can invest in Alberta real estate, for example, right? Where do you think Quebec broke away with their pension plan, so the Quebec is not part of the Canadian pension plan anymore. Quebec has their own pension plan. Guess where their pension plan invest? They invest in Alberta real estate, right? Come on. Meanwhile, my pension, your pension, if you live in Alberta, is, Mark Carney is probably going to use that Canadian pension plan and put it into his so-called sovereign debt fund. Oh, my God, that's the worst thing ever, because you know that whatever Carney does there, it's like to benefit. And who's gonna monitor that? Who's gonna be looking after it? Is it gonna be Brookfield? I don't know, but you can bet that Carney is getting his hands in there somewhere. And you know that most of the things that Carney, he's come up with $100 billion worth of spending over the last year since he's gotten into power. And you know that a lot of those things involve Brookfield, the Brookfield company, or subsidiaries of Brookfield. And Mark Carney owns stock options, apparently. He apparently owns deferred shares, in Brookfield. And it's a huge conflict of interest. Absolutely. And shame on Carney for, always pumping money into things that are something to do with Brookfield. Brookfield. Oh, my God. It is like such a broken record, with people saying stuff like that. Unbelievable. Hey, good to see everyone in the chat there. We got one for the roadie in the chat. Hey, good to see you. Thanks a lot for popping in there. Thank you very much for contributing to the chat. We've got Phoenix Tide in here. Good to see you in there. Phoenix Tide is saying Alberta should double all free BS payouts to the freeloaders and still be profitable. Canada will make every effort to appease the voters before the vote. Oh, yeah. The rest of Canada, they're the ones that are calling us names, seppies, traitors, and all kind of bullshit like that. And, hey, I don't care. Call me a seppy. Call me a traitor. It just makes you look bad. Name calling makes the guy that calls the name look bad, okay? That's another thing I learned in business and in life, is that don't call people names, because when you call people names, all it does is make you look bad, okay? But you haven't learned that yet, okay? The lefties haven't learned that yet. That's why they're like the biggest ones. They wake up in the morning and they go like, they look in the mirror like and go, oh, geez, who am I going to call a racist today? You know, like I better get right on that and start looking for somebody to call a racist or a seppi or a traitor or something like that. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's the way it actually goes. That's the way the world turns. Let's listen to Mark Carney here. We've got a bit from the juggler himself, Mark Carney. And he is talking about, Mark Carney says, dirty Albertan oil sands need to be decarbonized, okay? What? Decarbonized? How the hell can you decarbonize oil? Oil is oil is oil is oil, okay? But all you can do is somehow, fake call something decarbonized when it's not decarbonized, But, it's somehow to charge some money. If you charge some money, like tax it by some sort of a carbon tax, and you get the guy that produces the oil, and you get him to pay a carbon tax, that apparently decarbonizes the oil. Like, how stupid can you get? And that's why companies are refusing to invest in Alberta, because they don't want to have anything to do with the carbon tax in Alberta, okay? There are carbon taxes that are being charged for oil in Alberta by the federal government, and companies do not want to invest in Alberta because of the federal government and their federal carbon taxes, okay? And like I say, Carney somehow thinks that charging a carbon tax to oil decarbonizes it or makes it green, which is all bullshit. It's all net zero bullshit. It's like, we don't want oil, we don't like oil, and we'll tax oil, like so much that people won't produce oil, that they'll just leave it in the ground. That's the whole idea. That's what they really want to do. That's the subversive thing that's happening. Let's hear from Mark Carney.
One of the key selling points for Canadian conventional energy will be that it's low risk. Canada is the lowest risk jurisdiction. Low cost, low marginal cost. We are continuing to work on that.
Hang on. Low risk. Okay, what does he mean by that? He means that there's a less likely chance that there's going to be some kind of a blockade or a little war or something like that, like you see in the Middle East, right? Because that's what you would call risky oil. When you send a boat over there, are you actually going to get loaded up or not? Well, if there's a war going on, that would be high risk, okay? So Canadian oil, if we ever do get it to port, if it ever does happen, which of course nobody has actually signed anything saying that's going to happen. Companies don't want to get involved in a pipeline. Companies don't want to get involved in even bringing more oil out of the ground because of the heavy carbon taxes that are being applied to corporations. But yeah, that would be low risk oil. Low cost oil, yeah, well, it would be market value. It wouldn't be low cost. It would be whatever the market value is. That's what Canada would be selling the oil.
And low carbon.
What? Low carbon? Hang on. How can you have low carbon oil? Like, that part of it doesn't make any sense at all, because oil is carbon. That is what oil is. Now, it's either oil with carbon or it's nothing. But there is no such thing as low carbon oil. Like, it's a made up term that he's made up. He's the manipulator of the words, trying to make something seem what it is when it isn't, right? It's not low carbon. It's carbon. Oil is carbon. What the hell's the matter with this guy?
Low carbon. And so getting the emissions down will...
What emissions down? What? What are you talking about? How can you get emissions down? The oil companies are doing whatever they can to, drill a hole in the ground and to bring oil up. Or in the carbon sands, they're sending steam into the ground to loosen up that oil that's in the sands and then bringing that oil up, right? That's what they're doing. They're already doing everything they can to make sure that they're not flaring or doing stuff like that. That's already being done. But, you, by charging money, carbon taxes to the oil companies, is not making low carbon oil. Okay, it's not making low emissions. It is what it is. Oil is what it is. It's carbon. It's absolute carbon coming out of the ground. Yeah, low carbon. Like this guy is like such a manipulator of words. What it means is suck money out of the companies that are the producers and feed it to the federal government. That's what all this green energy, low carbon bullshit is.
In a position, and I will tell you that from direct conversations with a series of governments across Asia, that's what they're looking for, the medium.
No, they're not looking for that. They're not looking for low carbon, heavily taxed bullshit stuff that you're talking about. They're looking for oil. They're looking for just oil. Like these politicians, and especially Carney, because he's carbon Carney and net zero, carbon tax, carbon tariffs, oh man, it makes me sick listening to this guy talk, because all he wants to do is suck money out of the industry, okay, and make it seem like, oh, it's like special oil. We're going to send them some special green oil, low carbon oil. No, that's not what it is. It's just fucking oil. Don't be such an asshole. Jesus.
Term. That's what the government of Canada is working with the government of Alberta in order to produce.
No, you're not working with the government of Alberta. You're taxing the hell out of the government of Alberta. You're coming up with MOUs that in order to build a pipeline that you want to, tax the companies producing the oil, massive taxes, and you're not going to build a pipeline unless we agree to massive taxes. That's why Alberta wants out of Canada, Carney. We want to have nothing to do with your carbon taxes, nothing to do with your green oil, nothing to do with your low carbon bullshit oil. It's all bullshit. It's all talk. It's all money in your pocket. In your pocket, probably in Brookfield's pocket, more money for Ottawa to spend on bullshit stuff to send to Zimbabwe on female whatever, transgender bullshit stuff that you have up your sleeve, okay? We're sick and tired of that, sick and tired of the agenda of Canada, and sick and tired of you. Okay, Carney? You got it?
A comprehensive approach through our MOU. We're making good progress.
Yeah, your MOU that everyone is wiping their ass with, okay? It's not worth the paper that it's written on. The MOU only wants to build a pipeline for us to increase all of the carbon taxes and all kind of bullshit. Shame on you for proposing something like that. Shame on you for being the Prime Minister of our Canada. Shame on you for kicking me out of your rally in Edmonton, okay? Shame on you. You're not my Prime Minister.
On that, and that's going to make the oil sands more competitive. It's going to make Canada more competitive as part of
it's not. It's all of this taxation is going to make Ottawa richer. Okay, so you have more money to spend on all your bullshit stuff, and it's going to make Albertans like me poorer because we have less money in our province. And it's actually going to stifle the whole thing, because companies are not going to invest in Alberta because they don't want to pay your bullshit carbon tax stuff, okay? That's what's going on here right now. That's why investment and jobs and things like that in Alberta are at a standstill right now. Companies don't want to have anything to do with your bullshit.
Bigger energy transition that's happening.
It's not happening.
I can't speak, and I'll finish here, being in Quebec, without observing just...
and he's in Quebec, which we suggested running a pipeline to the East Coast, and Quebec is going, we do not want any of your dirty oil. Send us money, but no dirty oil. So sell your oil, make the money, and send us the oil with equalization payment. But we do not want your dirty oil in Quebec. Okay. F you, Alberta.
Fundamental strength that's given from the clean energy that comes from this great province.
The clean energy. There is no such as clean energy. It's fucking energy. What the hell is the matter with this guy?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prime
Yeah.
One of the keys.
Thank you very much. Okay. F you. Okay. Your speech is totally debunked by little old Tommy Temper. Okay? And the liberals out there are going to be crying liberal tears going, oh, Tommy Temper, It's all misinformation. It's all misinformation. There is such thing as green oil. It's unicorns and fairy farts and green oil. Yeah, it all exists in the real world. Oh man, you can't make this shit up. What the hell's the matter with this world that we're living in? You know, and there's those of you out there that actually believe this bullshit, you know? Like, what are you watching CBC or something? Where do you get your information from where you actually believe this bullshit? Oh my God. Alberta keeps paying, Ottawa keeps taking, and it's just a cycle that keeps on going over and over and over again. And the only way to actually stop it is Alberta independence, right? Alberta independence. That's what we need. That's the only way out of this hellhole. We don't want the drugs. We don't want the green oil. We don't want the bullshit stuff that you guys make up all the time there. Okay, for decades, Alberta has been the economic engine for Canada, powering jobs, industry, agriculture, and energy across the country. Yet, while Albertans contribute billions through equalization and transfer payments, our province continues to face federal roadblocks, attacks on our resource sector, and policies that hurt our economy. Meanwhile, Alberta contributes billions more than it receives. Our oil and gas industry is targeted while Eastern Canada benefits. Farmers, ranchers, truckers, and workers are overtaxed and underrepresented. Ottawa continues to centralize our power while Alberta voices are ignored. Our wealth leaves Alberta while our infrastructure and services struggle. From the Rockies to the Rigs, Alberta was built by the hard-working people who believe in freedom, opportunity, and self-determination. More Albertans are beginning to ask, what exactly are we getting in return? The conversation around Alberta independence is growing because people are tired of watching this province fund the rest of the country while being treated like an afterthought. Enough is enough. We need to keep our wealth. We need to build our future. And here we have this little meme here, which talks about, let me just move it to where we can see it, get a little bit bigger here. Okay, what is going on here with this meme here? Alberta builds, others benefit. It's time for Alberta independence, okay? Alberta pays, Ontario and Quebec receive, okay? What Alberta pays out? Alberta pays out approximately $25 to $28 billion annually. And what does Alberta get back from Ottawa? Approximately $4 to $6 billion. Well, do your math. 28 billion minus 6 billion leaves about $22 billion, okay? So $22 billion gets sucked out of Alberta every year, and it, you can't read the fine print there, but money in their pocket gives them the place to make jobs. Their schools and that can be lower cost in Quebec and in Ontario. And what do we get back? We get a pittance. We get $4 to $6 billion back, which we spend that money on our policing. We spend that on our healthcare system and on our schools and on our government. And that's very little, very little. So we're spending out way more than we're getting back. It's not a good situation. We don't like it. And Alberta is actually Canada's economic engine by way of the production and sending of money to other provinces. And we have to stop this. We want to stop this. We had a vote in Alberta. I don't know when that vote was, but it was many years ago. We had a vote to stop equalization. Okay, stop equalization. I'll bring up a meme on that here in a bit. But overwhelmingly, all of the people, the majority of people in Alberta voted to stop sending money outside of Alberta. Okay, all of those people that voted to stop equalization payments need to vote to separate from Canada. Those same people, because around Ontario, but the federal government is not listening to Alberta and not stopping the unfair equalization payments. We need to separate from Canada. All of the people that voted for that need to vote for separation. Okay, and that's probably a lot of those people are the 300,000 that voted to for independence of Alberta from Canada. Okay, and those same people need to vote for independence. We need to do it. Okay, next one up here. We have a guy that used to be the premier of Alberta, a guy by the name of Jason Kenney. Oh my God, Jason Kenney. Oh, he's like, some people call him Fat Stalin. Like unacceptable fringe calls him Fat Stalin. Myself, I don't like to call people names, okay? But, as a matter of fact, if I look at my archive here somewhere, I actually have a selfie of me with Jason Kenney, okay? This guy right here. He's looking a lot older. He's looking, more bags underneath his eyes there. And I'm not sure where he is in politics right now, but he is the guy that's the voice of anti-independence, right? He's the guy, Jason Kenney, this guy right here. Jason Kenney's message to Albertans: you guys have no realistic prospect of getting your 50%. And even if you do, then we go into endless and I think pointless negotiations that will lead to nowhere. So he's like what you would call a federalist, right? What's a federalist in Canada? A federalist would be somebody that wants a union of Canada. It doesn't want any province to separate from Canada, and he wants, hey, we're all together, one big team, we're all Canadians, right? He used to be the premier of Canada during the days of COVID, and he did a really crappy job. He made guys like me get a jab in order to get into a restaurant and have a passport, that said, I have been jabbed, and you show that to the guy at the restaurant, and the guy says, okay, you can get in. And if you didn't have that on your iPhone or your smartphone where you had that app on there, you had to have a provincial app which, said, I have been jabbed, and now, that's your proof to be able to enter into a restaurant. Like he did that. He actually did that. He enacted that. And, so many people didn't like that they ended up turfing him and not electing him, okay? Because when it came time to see who's going to be the new leader of the province, he got turfed out. And that's where Danielle Smith became our new premier. But anyways, let's listen to what, our good friend here has to say. Hang on, let me flip this over a little bit here. We'll bring him up a little bit so you can read some of the words at the bottom there. Coming to us from CBC, this is Jason Kenney.
You guys have no realistic prospect of getting your 50%. And even if you do, then we go into endless and I think pointless negotiations that will lead nowhere. The separatists are not actually strengthening Alberta. The knife to the throat metaphor that people use, Quebec's been doing this for 60 years, why don't we replicate their threat? All you end up doing is electing more Liberal MPs from Alberta, fewer Conservatives who are defending the province's interests in Ottawa, and potentially electing an NDP through a vote split. How does that advantage Alberta's interests in the federation?
No, that's not happening, that's only his thought about what's happening. Let me tell you about this. What this is doing, and you'll notice that the threat of separation is prompting Carney to talk way more about a pipeline, right? He's like already seeing that it's a problem, and he knows that he needs to do something to appease guys like me, Albertans, that are promoting independence, right? He's already doing it. He's out there. He's talking about it. He's talking about the pipeline more now than ever. His MOU is a piece of garbage, right? Throw it away because nobody kept any of the dates on that MOU. And an MOU is not a schedule, a timeline of events that are going to happen, okay? We need to have actual agreements with companies that are going to actually do something. Right now, we don't have any agreements with anything. And Mark Carney is still spouting off that, you heard the earlier clip from Mark Carney where he's going, oh, well, we're talking to other countries and they want our green, carbon, whatever, free, not carbon free, but, whatever. All the rest of his net zero type bullshit talk. He wants all of that, Meanwhile, it's all talk. It is all talk. And we understand that it's all talk. We know that it's all talk. We don't believe Carney. All that we know that if Brookfield is going to make some money, then Carney is probably going to get involved with it, right? Because he's got his, apparently, his stock options, his deferred shares, and stuff like that, where he's going to benefit from it, right? And if he can't benefit with the stuff from Brookfield, well, then he's not going to be pushing it at all. Okay, we got a guy here by the name of Sheepdogging. He's a guy with a fairly new YouTube channel, Sheepdogging, with Tom Dienis. He weighs in on the 5 pillars to unite the Alberta independence movement. United we stand, divided we fall. I don't like to say we fall at all. Nobody's going to fall. United we stand, period. And we're already putting pressure on the federal government, whereby they're already talking about doing stuff that they weren't talking about before. The 5 pillars. 1 is executive accountability. 2, judicial reform. Yeah, executive accountability. That has to do with people at the top to have accountability for the things that they're doing, and for us to get involved and do stuff ourselves. We need, this is when Alberta becomes independent, right? We will have executive accountability. Judicial reform. We have a justice system from the old system from the UK, okay? That's basically what our justice system is here in Canada. And it is thin, really thin. People don't go to jail. People get out. People get hardly anything. They get a slap on the wrist for doing major things, never mind minor things. People that are immigrants in the country, when they do something wrong, they don't get deported. The liberal judges downplay whatever it is that they've done, give them a really, really reduced sentence so that it doesn't affect their ability to get deported. We see stuff like that going on. We have the justice system in Alberta is padded with liberal judges, okay? We have a Senate system in Canada, which is padded with liberals, okay, which doesn't do us in the West here any good whatsoever. We need legislative and constitutional reform in Alberta to make it so it actually works. We don't need more of this crap that Carney is bringing in, where it's the kind of a system that you have in the UK, where if you say something that hurts somebody's feelings, then the cops come knocking on your door, and yeah, and it's like, okay, we're here to take you away, put you in jail for a few days, and see you in court for a vocal, misdemeanor or something. It's craziness. What's happening in the UK? Watch the UK streamers. I watch the UK streamers. There's guys that I know that have gotten that knock on the door already for simply saying something about somebody else and hurting their feelings. And we're seeing a good friend of ours, Benita Peterson, who is right now under this human rights court that they have set up in various provinces, where if you say something or if you put something in writing that hurts somebody's feelings, simply as that, where they take you to court. And there's a guy that in BC that said that there are only 2 genders. By the way, the principal of my kid's school, when I asked him how many genders there were, he said there's only 2 genders. So actually, he should be taken to the human rights court and hung up by them and given like the guy in BC, he got a $750,000 fine for spouting off against transgenderism and how many genders there are and stuff like that. That's why I don't even want to talk about stuff like that, because I don't want this so-called human rights tribunal to say, Tommy Temper, you hurt our feelings. Oh, you hurt our feelings. We feel so bad because somebody said that there's only 2 genders, and you know what? There's millions of genders. Okay, I'll say it. There's millions of genders. Millions, trillions, billions. There's as many stars as you can see out there on a starry night. That's about how many genders there are. Okay, are you happy? Be happy. Don't be sad. I didn't hurt your feelings. Okay, don't take me to the tribunal and fine me $750,000. Okay, like that's how bad it has gotten. Really, this is where we're at in Canada. And now, if we separate from Canada, we can say, F you. F this tribunal. Get the hell out of here. We don't have anything to do with you. We can take those flags off of the school walls. We can take the flags off of the municipal buildings and on the poles and stuff like that. We don't have to deal with any of that stuff at all. Okay, let's just leave the schools to teaching the children the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Right, and forget about this teaching them about genderism and the rest of this stuff. We don't need to talk to them about whatever the politics that the teacher happens to believe in or stuff like that. Leave that out of the school. Okay. We don't want that at all. Okay, so anyways, the fourth item is individual property rights. Okay, we got to be talking about that because we see an erosion of property rights happening in British Columbia, where you get these drip things that get instituted into their governments, and the drip thing says that the Aboriginal people have title rights to property. So you get this globalist crap that they bring in, and then you get stuff like the NDP that go, yeah, let's bring this into BC. Great, we'll bring DRIPA in, and then all of a sudden you get court systems that are going, wow, the DRIPA says that the Aboriginals have title to your property, which you already have title to, and it ends up being one big shit show. Okay, so we want individual property rights to be not something that gets overridden by something else, by some liberal judge, okay? And we want, number 5, economic prosperity. Yoo-hoo! We want the great things for everybody. Let's do it. We need a I don't know, maybe, hey, how about this? Yeah, prosperity for all, prosperity for everyone. You got it. Rise of Alberta. Hey, yeah, this is it. Hey, people should be promoting my stuff. I'm such a big promoter of Alberta prosperity. I'm probably one of the best promoters out here. We tell it to you the way it is, okay? Let's hear from the man himself. Let's listen to him, hear what he has to say.
Hey guys, it's Tom Deans here with Sheepdogging with Tom Deans, as I call it on YouTube. I was thinking about how can we unite? I was thinking about the Alberta independence movement, and I was thinking about pretty well 5 different things, 5 pillars. The main one being executive accountability. And as that relates to the current Canadian system of governance, that would relate to the King's Privy Council, which are our elected MPs, the Prime Minister himself, and the Senate per se, things like that, right? That's who I consider to be the executive. And then also number 2 would be judicial reform. We really need to get back to justice is blind, and the law needs to be written in a way that's solid, right? So that when you have judges, they're looking the law for what it is, and they're not going to be leaning towards one political group over the other. I think that was the idea originally, right? Is that the law is the law and justice is blind. And that's rightly so. And then thirdly, I was thinking about legislative and constitutional reform. And I just want to let you guys know I'm actually a member of the Alberta Prosperity Project, because I look at guys like Mitch and Jeff there that have been largely the face of the movement.
Yeah, one thing. Me, myself, I am not a member of any political party. I am not a member of the Alberta Prosperity Party. I am not a member of Stay Free. I'm not a member of the Centurion Project. I'm not a member of the Republican Party. I'm not a member of any party whatsoever. I'm Tommy Temper, who is an individual, okay, I'm a member of the Tommy Temper party, if there is one. I'm a member of myself, okay? I am just one guy that believes in prosperity, okay? Like, really. And even on this channel, I started this channel for fun, just for fun, okay? But it has turned into something a little bit more than fun, and I'm promoting Alberta independence for better prosperity for everyone. Now, I've always, my whole life, wanted better for those people around me, okay? A better life, a better lifestyle, a better place to live, a better environment. And it doesn't matter whether you're rich or you're poor or whether you're handicapped or whatever. You should have a better life than what we have right now. And I see the failure of government, right, in that it is costing you more money to live every day, right? So what can I do to help you to have a better lifestyle? And really, this whole world is built on what we call money, okay? It's all about money. And the more money that you can keep in your wallet, in your back pocket, the better life that you're going to have. I'm sure that you would agree, right? Now, those things around you are part of money, because if you have a better road with no potholes in it, the money is being used to fix those potholes, then it takes money for you to have a better road to ride your bicycle on or to drive on, right? Those things around you take money to be better, okay? You're going to have a better lifestyle if you don't have to worry about some drug addict running around with a knife in his hand, going like this. Yeah. Like I saw a couple days ago in my neighborhood here, right? I'll have a better lifestyle without the guy, running around wanting to stab people, right? And that's the life that I live in right now, okay? It's not a good life. I don't feel like it's safe for my children to walk on the streets when there's tweakers out there. And, like if they're tweaking and they're bent over, not a big deal because they're not bothering me, right? Or if they're laying on the ground passed out, not a big deal. They're not bothering me, right? Or if they're just huddled over somewhere, no problem. When they start lighting a fire, a warming fire, that's when it starts bothering me, right? Because if they light that fire outside of where I live or outside of a garage or a shed or something like that, they start those things on fire. So when they start lighting fires all over the place, that bothers me. When they are deranged because they don't have the drug, they're coming down on the drug and they're looking for their next drug. Well, that's when they grab the knife or whatever it is, a steak or whatever, and start going around and going berserk and start attacking people. That's when it starts involving me, okay? I don't like that, okay? I need a better life for myself, and really, it happens with what's going on right around me, And the police are going, well, we can't do anything about that. We're overlooking at stabbings, actual stabbings going on, or dead people or whatever. We're taking all our time with that kind of stuff, and we can't look after guys openly doing drugs on the streets. So we let them do that because we don't have the manpower. And the government allows that, by the way, so go talk to your municipal government. Talk to them because the municipal government tells us not to arrest people with small quantities of drugs. Our municipal government tells us, the police department, not to arrest people for open drug use, right? And those are the people that are the biggest concern that I have around me. That's the number one concern is all the drug addicts running around. And they are running around, Ryan Jesperson, the drug addicts are running around your building there right by Rogers Center, okay? Right, half a block from your building, I saw a guy lying down over on a bench with his mouth wide open, looking like he's dead, and literally hundreds of people walking by him going to Rogers Center to a hockey game. Nobody giving a shit about whether or not he was dead or alive. I saw that right outside your building there. So, you can ban me from your thing for doing a video and showing stuff like that, but it's reality. It's happening. It's right outside where you do your podcast. The lefties are letting stuff like that happen. You're doing nothing about it. You're not even talking about it. And you're like, oh, well, I'm 100 feet from the Rogers Center. Yeah, that's right where all the drug addicts are hanging out. It's a mecca of drugs right around where Rogers Center is, right downtown. In fact, all over downtown Edmonton. You could be over by the Ledge building. You could be over by Canada Place. You could be by City Hall. It doesn't matter where you are. You're going to see drug addicts stooped over, lying on the ground, stuff like that. And I've proven it by riding my bicycle downtown and showing you guys by doing videos about stuff like that. And you guys go like, oh, well, you're a bad guy, Tommy Temper, because you put your camera in somebody's face or something, you know. No, I'm not. That's not why I do videos. I do videos of what I see downtown, and what I see sometimes is not great. It's stuff that, you know, I feel bad about posting it even. I'm going like, well, should I post it? I know I'm going to get blowback from the Liberals, you know. I should actually say, warning to Liberals, you will be triggered watching this or whatever, you know. But it's the reality. It's the reality that we live in, and it's all bullshit. Okay, let's listen to the rest of the bit here about the 5 pillars.
People I've been following for sure. And that's not to... dismiss other people, right? There's lots of guys out there that have got a lot of experience that they're bringing to the table. And we should listen and weigh those things out. But I just want to highlight in terms of constitutional reform, like the Alberta Prosperity Project has what I call the Freedom Document, which is a financial fiscal draft plan for why Alberta should become independent, and I think it's excellent. It's well done, well thought out. I mean, hey, feel free to criticize, right? But nothing's set in stone. But the idea is that if we become independent, like, we can take control. I call it like our own self-determination as opposed to Ottawa, right? Of course, like, because basically, again, I've talked about it before. Like, basically, you win over Ontario and Quebec, however the vote goes there. Essentially, there's 200 seats there, so if they all go like Liberal per se, I mean, there's Bloc Québécois and other parties here and there, but they form the federal government, and of course they're gonna steer things in the way that works best for them. So we need some changes, right? Like Alberta's basically sugar daddy, and basically like Eastern Canada is kind of like they're relying on sugar daddy, if I could put it that way. And then we've not only that, and then they have the audacity basically to tell us how to govern like this land. And that's the root cause of a lot of the frustrations here, right? And people here have really had enough. So the financial side of it too is a real big one in terms of constitutional reform. And okay, so let's go to number 4. Again, I said there was 5 things here, right? So property rights, like individual property rights. Like, if you actually look into it, like it's I didn't even really know these things until you actually start looking into how the law actually works in this country. And we really don't have rights in the way that I would say the Americans do, right? And so I would rally around that one point as well. Like, that your land is your land. Like, I really don't think we should be ushering in this communist style globalist mentality where I would say that we should embrace nationalism as opposed to globalism. We should, you talk about the individuality of nations is more like a check and balance. If we go to one system, man, and from the way I'm looking at it, right, like, it looks like AI will be really kind of running the show, right? If we just allow these things to take place, and of course, number 5, I talked about that, is economic prosperity, right? So that we're not confined to the restrictions that like Ottawa places on Alberta, right? Because of their ideological extremism, if I can put it that way. So these are some of the main issues, right, that I see. And of course, they all branch off from there, and there's other things too. But it's very important to unite and work together. Like, now, on this team too, right? If certain individuals are doing things that are wrong, that needs to be called out, not swept under the rug. Like, I'm pretty solid on my position on that kind of stuff, right? Whether it's myself or anyone else for that matter, the law applies to us all. So, like, when we do stuff that's kind of on the shady side, that harms the whole movement. So, and you know, like, sometimes I just play around with AI and I create these infographics. Like, I do a little bit of research right into it and work with AI to create some of these images, and some people like it, some people don't. But to me, I look at it this way: it's a tool, and depending on the character of the individual using it, you can use it for either good purposes or dark purposes. Okay, and I'll put it to you this way: it's like, if you give a good man a firearm, he'll use it to protect his family and or others for that matter. But if you give a bad man with bad character a firearm, he'll rob a store, and he'll abuse that power for his own selfish ends, right? So think of it that way when it comes to AI. I mean, there's a lot of dangers to AI, 100%. This whole biodigital convergence integration and what people want to do, but you always have to look at the dark side of it too, the potential of how this can be used to our own destruction, if you will. It's a simple way of putting it, but again, guys, this is Tom Deans, and that's today's weigh-in. So let's try and work together. Again, there's other guys too. I think Keith Wilson is bringing a lot to the table, a lot to the conversation, helping to educate us on what's actually going on here. So I'm really hats off to a lot of the lawyers out there that are actually just kind of educating like us guys that are just not so much aware of these things. So I really do appreciate that. Corey Morgan too, he's a good one. I call him the historian, right? Because he's been following this for a very long time. There's lots of guys, right, that have put in a lot of effort out there. So again, hey, take it as a grain of salt, but to me, like, we need to find reasons to work together and not to create more division. So, and also, we got to call foul when there's foul, all right? And take ownership. Take ownership. When you do something wrong, the best thing you can do is be transparent and own what's going on there. Take care, guys. Sheepdogging with Tom Deans.
Okay, so yeah, good points from a different perspective. Yeah, keep in mind, yeah, I like I said, I'm not embedded, or I'm not like a member of any particular group or party or something like that. And for that reason, if something does go sideways, well, I can't be like, oh, well, you're part of that, and where you have this list that the media is going berserk over, I'm not part of it. That's a very, very small group of people that are pro-independence that got involved with that. The so-called Republican Party that the list came from, and the Centurion Group, which is headed by one guy in particular. And yeah, there is a group of people that got that list, and the rest is history. Is it bad for independence? Yeah, it's not great for independence, that's for sure. Does it affect me? No, not whatsoever. Does it affect my wanting independence, like negatively? No, not at all. Not at all. That list got released, and it's history. Now it's history. It got released, and it's a thing that happened, And yeah, just leave it behind. Mainstream media will bark about it, and the left-wing podcasters will go, oh, it's a whole group or something, and try and brush the whole group with things that are bad. And honestly, it's a thing that happened. You can't I can dismiss it, that it hey, but not that it didn't happen, but I can put it aside and go, yeah, somebody did something bad, and the RCMP are going to investigate. And you know what? It probably isn't a criminal offense to release a list of names. That's probably not, whoever did it is probably not going to go to jail. It's an Alberta elections thing, that Alberta elections will deal with it. If they know who it is that released that list, then they should go to that person or that party and deal with it accordingly. And that's it. It's got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with the separatist movement, because the movement goes on. 300,000 people signed the petition to leave Alberta. Okay. You can't dismiss all of those people because one guy, one person released a list of voter names. Like the media is just going berserk over this whole thing because they really don't have any grounds whatsoever to stand on. And if that's a good reason to not go for Alberta independence, well, it's a pretty crappy reason, really. Come up with a better reason. Like, why should Alberta stay in Canada? So far, I haven't heard anybody with any reason why Alberta should stay in Canada. So that's why we're pro-independence over here in the Tommy Temper camp, right? And I'll fly a flag on my truck all day long, and I will podcast about this all day long. And unfortunately for our American friends that are in the chat here, which I know a lot of you are Americans that watch my channel here, unfortunately it might be content that you're like going, well, it doesn't really involve me, but yeah, it does, because you guys buy oil from Alberta, right? And what happens here in Alberta, and if the federal government decides to shut the tap off to you guys, then you guys don't get our oil. It's as simple as that. And right now, Canada pretty much rules over what Alberta does. And Alberta wants to break away. We want to produce more oil, get more pipelines going down to the States. We want you guys to benefit more from the oil that we have up here. And we've got, a couple 100-year supply of oil up here. Really, we've got a lot. The oil sands is big. If you ever see these maps where it shows you all the oil natural resources across the USA and Canada, it goes all the way up through all of Alberta here. Like, it doesn't matter where you go. And I've gone and traveled lots of places in Alberta, and I see oil wells everywhere that I go. Everywhere. In fact, now I'm seeing like six pump jacks at one location, like all over the place. 6 pump jacks here, 6 pump jacks there. So like they're really pulling oil out of the ground, and there's more left in there too. So pretty good thing. Pretty good place to live here. But we've got this other party in Alberta called the NDP party, which we've heard about, from Jason Kenney, being worried about the NDP party. We've got this guy here who, very, 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 you have to be like really extreme far left to like this guy with his Alberta New Democratic Party, which is not a new party. And it's a really, really extreme left-leaning party. On the federal note, the federal NDP party was, remember we brought you the video of all of the people that look like wackos that were at that convention? Yeah, that was the NDP convention, where the people had these cards. It's like, yeah, I've got my equity card here, and I've got my equity card because I'm black and I'm disabled, and let's see what else, and I'm indigenous, and I'm hard done by. So like I actually have about 5 or 6 cards in here, so this enables me to get to the front of the line in front of that white guy, Tommy Temper, to make sure that he doesn't say anything. But I'm at the front of the line because I have all of these things. That's what the NDP party is about. Shame on them for any of that bullshit. You should treat everyone as an equal like I do. It doesn't matter what you are, whether you're LG or whether you're white or black or red or whatever, or disabled. You are a human being just like I'm a human being. And you have a right to be in the lineup, right? You don't have any right to be in any way ahead of anybody else in the lineup. You have the equal, like whatever happened to equality. I thought the lefties were all about equality. It's like, yeah, we want DEI equality. We want, no, that's not the way it works when you have inequality right within your own, system. Yeah, it's like I could go into that forever. But, yeah, this bit here is DDDD comes to us from the NDP lie detector. Lie detector says NDP leader Naheed Nenshi, who used to be the mayor of Calgary and failed absolute miserably, and then he became the leader of the NDP party in Alberta, and he thinks he's going to run Alberta. Not going to happen in a zillion million years. Anyways, he accused our illustrious Premier of Alberta, Danielle Smith, who's doing an excellent job. He accused her of being a foreign agent of Saudi Arabia. Come on. Like, these guys are just out on a limb. Ridiculousness. It's like calling people names and stuff like that. Yeah. A foreign agent. Like, give me a break. Although Mr. Nenshi has a reputation of being untruthful, calling your political opponent an agent of a foreign government is very disturbing and dangerous, and he needs to apologize immediately. Let's listen to him. Nenshi, what do you have to say?
Because here's the thing. The Premier has proven herself to be a foreign agent by accepting hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. She'll never get her clearance.
A few moments later.
Funny timing, because you were talking about this a little bit earlier, and you said the Premier won't be granted security clearance. I am writing an article today about how she has been granted.
Oh, has she really?
and I.
Well, geez, I hope that the people granting the security clearance really dug into her connections with foreign governments. But good for her. I hope she'll use it well, and I hope she'll tell Pierre Poilievre he ought to get his. Because here's the thing. The Premier has proven herself to be a foreign agent by accepting...
Yeah, right. Like right there. Caught in his situation there. I'm not going to call people names. I don't want to be taken to court by Nenshi for saying crap about him because it's not worth it, really. He's a non-Nenshi. He's a Nenshi anything. All he is just a mouthpiece of the lefties, and people that are right-wingers here don't like him. He's a bit, off, shall we say. And, and anytime he opens up his mouth, it's, what he says you cannot believe, put it that way. So enough with Nenshi. And by the way, where I live here in Old Strathcona, this place, I'm looking out the window right here, right, which is Old Strathcona, right where I'm sitting in the illustrious studios of the Tommy Temper Studios here, overlooking the elm-lined streets of Old Strathcona, the place that he's actually the MP, the Member of Parliament here in Alberta for my area here, Old Strathcona. So he actually represents me, believe it or not. Oh, man, I could throw up, but, what can I say? But I'm not going to talk negatively about him because he's already nonsense, non grata. Nobody listens to him, and when he does open up his mouth, it's like, pretty much gibberish. So that's my thoughts on Nenshi. He's a little bit weird. We've got other stuff. Unemployment. Unemployment numbers for April. Canada's population increased by 8,900 people. Woo, in April. But the number of workers increased by 33,000. That's because 36,000 kids turned 16, while less than 3,000 people retired. So, we're in a situation where there's more people looking to get a job, month over month, and there aren't any jobs for them. So it's being a little bit troublesome. Next thing up is, blue flag waving and stuff like that. The mega blue storm is coming to Edmonton May 24th. Now's the time to get your flags and vehicles decorated because we're going to be ready for phase 2 with details dropping next week. So, yeah, there's not going to be this weekend any blue flag roll, slow roll, or a blue flag wave in Edmonton. It's going to be held off until Sunday, May 24th, because of Mother's Day. We have Mother's Day coming up here on the weekend. So there's not going to be any blue flag roll that happens in Edmonton. And what that is a whole bunch of vehicles get their flags and they start rolling around Edmonton for Alberta independence. So watch for that to happen on May the 24th. Just an update on what's happening locally here in Edmonton. If you're involved with that, thank you very much for that information. Yeah, have a read. Have a read for this. Calgary guy says, have a read for the Alberta value of freedom. Okay. Hey, Albertans, whether you support independence or not, you should read this document. Summary: Albertans would be far better off and pay less taxes as an independent nation. Okay. And there's this piece that's being written up that's called The Value of Freedom. And it's over on, you can find it on Alberta Prosperity project.com is where you can find it. And it's a book, or it's a PDF that you can download, and it's called The Value of Freedom. And they say it's Commonwealth of Alberta. Let me just bring it up here. I have it, and we can actually go over a little bit of it here. The Value of Freedom. This is actually a little Cole's notes of it. How Alberta could thrive by keeping that money at home. Federal taxes paid 68 to 75 billion, money returned 22 to 26 billion, net annual loss about 44 to 47 billion dollars. Okay, so we're actually negative when you look at all the money paid to Ottawa. So this document says Alberta's estimated avenue revenue 68 to 75 billion. 74 billion in current provincial revenue, 23 billion from Alberta pension plan. Total revenue 142 to 149 billion dollars. Alberta's estimated annual expenses 75 billion for provincial programs like healthcare, education, etc. 22 billion to replace federal services, defense, i.e. in RCMP. 2.8 to 5.7 billion one-time setup costs, surplus of $23 billion after setup. So, yeah, that's, they're talking about Alberta becoming independent. What it means, if Alberta does become independent, we will eliminate the GST, eliminate personal and corporate income tax, federal, invest in infrastructure, healthcare, and education. We'll have more money for that. We can cut an average tax burden by 29 to 48%, 46% from $38,000 down to $21,000 per taxpayer. So you'll be paying far less tax. Alberta pension plan assumes that 167 billion transferred from Canada Pension Plan grows to 183 billion with returns, brings in 23 billion more per year, 18 billion investment, plus 5 billion in contributions, could fund better benefits or lower payroll deductions, okay, if we become an independent country. Services Alberta would control, we would have $3 to $5 billion available for our provincial national defense. RCMP replacement, we'd have 0.74 to 0.76 billion available. Indigenous programs, we'd have $4.2 billion for Indigenous programs. Imagine that, all you natives out there. International relations, we'd have 0.5 to $1 billion. Health, federal programs, $8 to $10 billion more. Employment insurance, $2 to $3 billion. Annual costs, $22 to $31 billion. Covered by recovered federal funds. Future growth opportunity. What if Alberta grew aggressively? Okay. Oil from 3.8 million to 9.5 million barrels per day by 2045. So we could actually increase the amount of oil that we produce from 3.8 million to 9.5 million barrels a day. That's an awful lot. Right now, we send $4 million to the United States as we stand here. Natural gas, we could increase from 11 billion to 21 billion. Okay, get it flowing to the either down to the States or to the West Coast. Put it on ships out of Canada. 300,000 to 450,000 new jobs. Wow, total economic impact. $8.2 trillion. Heritage Fund. Now, we have a Heritage Fund, which Charney costs about a fund called the a Sovereignty Fund. Well, in Alberta, we have a fund already set up called the Heritage Fund, and it could grow from 1.3 to 1.4 trillion dollars, which is a rainy day fund that we could grow that. Replace property tax with frontage hectare fees at a flat amount, 10%, PIT-CIT. Currency trade, new Alberta dollar backed by gold. So get this, we could have our own Alberta dollar, and we could actually back it by actual gold, okay? We could back it by gold and oil, and we could also have Bitcoin. Temporary use of, which is not backed by nothing, by the way, temporary use of the U.S. dollar during transition. So as soon as Alberta becomes its own country, then we could actually, let's see here, make me a little bit bigger in here. Then we could actually use the American dollar. So we become a country. We get away from the Canadian dollar, which is basically they're printing Canadian dollars like crazy, and the Canadian dollar is being devalued as we speak on a daily basis, making food prices higher, everything that you buy higher because of the lower value of the dollar, because when you print more dollars, each dollar becomes worth less. It's just simple. It's not rocket science to understand that. So we temporarily get away from using the Canadian dollar. We use the American dollar, and then we eventually swap out the American dollar with our Alberta dollar that's backed by gold and backed by oil. Swap lines with U.S. banks for liquidity and resilience. And in the meantime, if we need American dollars, the United States is more than willing to lend Alberta money during the transition period, because we've already had people go down to the United States and see whether or not that's feasible. And it's not a matter of the U.S. taking over Alberta or Alberta becoming the 51st state. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just a matter of it being feasible for us to do stuff like that, okay? And it is. Absolutely is. The takeaway, even without financial gain, the ability to govern ourselves and preserve Alberta's values is priceless. But this plan shows that independence also offers a massive financial surplus, lower taxes and better services, a sustainable sovereign future. The value of freedom is absolutely priceless, okay? Whether you like it or not, that's the way it is, okay? Here it is, right here at the bottom. Boom. The value of freedom is priceless, absolutely priceless. And I know it, you know it, everybody knows it. And why other people in Alberta would be afraid of freedom and all of the benefits that it would bring to Albertans, you need to come over onto the side of independence for Alberta, because this is where it's all at, okay? And that document, and it's located at albertaprosperityproject.com, is where you'll find that. And check it out. Go there for yourself. And, you weigh the positive and negatives about that. Mitch Sylvester says, I found this on YouTube. I hear some of the people who support Alberta independence have a big, beautiful billboard truck. The music was really good, too. I'm not going to play the music, but I'll play this clip about this, which comes to us from Rebel, and it's actually part of what happened that I saw.
Here are some remarks by Mitch Sylvester, the volunteer organizer.
I read you the letter that I have for Premier Smith. Dear Premier Smith, On behalf of the Stay Free Alberta campaign, I'm pleased to advise you today that we delivered to Elections Alberta 301,450 signatures independence petition initiated under the Citizens Initiative Act, well surpassing the required threshold set by Elections Alberta. This process shows that Albertans are engaged, and this is an issue people want to have a say on. From all perspectives, there's been significant interest, discussion, and participation demonstrating that this is a matter of province-wide importance. It also reflects the role of direct democracy, with citizens engaging the legislative process in a lawful and meaningful way. This effort was about participation in democracy, plain and simple.
I was actually standing just to the left of this
As you're
shot
aware,
here.
there were significant administrative
Right in front.
and legal hurdles that delayed the process and increased the cost. Despite these obstacles, we remain focused on the goal and continue to push ahead in good faith. Amen. This effort would not have been possible without the dedication of thousands of volunteers, including over 7,000 canvassers.
Yeah. So
And of course, here's the lovely
that's what
Rebel news,
what
the big,
happened.
beautiful
That
bill.
was us out there. Rebel had their truck in there from Ottawa or Ontario. They drove all the way across the country with their billboard truck, with their electronic billboard, where it looked like a TV screen on both sides of the truck, with messages for everybody out there. It was, pretty good, pretty good. Great news for 61.7% of Albertans who voted in the 2020-21 referendum. Okay, this is the one that I was talking about, okay? Let me just get this in the right one where you can read it here. There was a referendum, okay, in 2021, okay? And what that referendum was, when it asked the question, do you want to continue equalization payments, or do you want to stop equalization payments? 61.7% of Albertans voted in 2021 in the referendum to end equalization payments. What that means is to end sending Alberta money to Ottawa, who in turn sent that money to Quebec and Ontario and the Atlantic provinces. Okay, we voted to end it. Okay, in 2021, and did the federal government listen to Alberta at that time? No, they didn't listen to us. They didn't end it. They just kept on doing it. So that tells me and tells you that Ottawa does not listen to Alberta. Okay. There's the reason for independence right there. 61% of Albertans said, no, stop sending our hard-earned money from our natural resources within our province to other provinces. You guys have your own oil. You guys have your own gas. Quebec has their own stuff. Quebec is leaving their natural gas in the ground. They're not allowing companies to explore and to extract natural resources out of the ground. Instead, they're taking money from Alberta, and we're sick and tired of it. Same thing with Ontario. They have their own natural resources. They just hey, they go, no, we're not going to touch our resources, but we're going to take money from Alberta. And we're sick and tired of that stuff happening. 61% of Albertans voted to stop the equalization payments, which basically is taking money from us and giving it to other have provinces. And they're going, we're a have-not province. No, Quebec is not a have-not province. Ontario is not a have-not province. You guys have plenty of jobs, plenty of industry, plenty of natural resources. You guys, if you want, utilize your own natural resources, utilize your own wherewithal to make your own money over there, and leave us with our money here in Alberta. Okay, that's what it's all about, and that's what that clip was all about. Here's another one here. Here's another reason to for Alberta to become independent. This comes from Yukon Strong. Well, Canada has made international headlines again, and not in a good way whatsoever. This is getting bad. This is getting really bad. Here's another reason for Alberta to leave Canada. And this comes to us from Saskatchewan, okay? With this bit here, school children had to be pulled out of a bizarre and perverted play. Okay, we'll play this for you. You can see this. Now, what was going on in this play? Well, it involved drag queens and indigenous land claims, apparently. No, this is not fake news. Canadian school children were forced to be removed, and you can see there's a bit of the play going on there. Doesn't look like my Canada at all. Doesn't look like an entertainment for children. What's that? Guys, whatever, were being shown. And there you can see the children walking out of the whole thing. You know, like, we don't care what you do in your bedroom, okay? Do what you want. Put on the clothes. Let it all hang out. Do it in the privacy of your bedroom. But don't bring a bunch of children into an event and then start, you know, dragging your stuff all around. You know, I hate to even show stuff like that. It was blurred out, so you couldn't see it. Really, they had to blur it out on that bit there. But the children were actually subjected to that, and their parents were pulling them out of the event. Like, it's sad what goes on. That's another reason why we need to pull out of Confederation so that we can stop stuff like that from happening. Like right now, you can't stop that because even in the Liberal mayor of Calgary said that you can't even protest outside of some kind of an event like that where they're showing genitalia and things like that to children doing stripper type pole activity with transgender type people. Like, really, honestly, it's sad when you guys do stuff like that. Okay, guys. Yeah, guys. They're guys. They're guys dressed up as women, you know, doing stuff like that. Like, this world is getting pretty sad. I'm watching this in the background, and it's playing over and over, and it's like Tommy Temper is getting brainwashed that this is actually good. No, it's not good. It's not great, okay? And I know the chat is going to go, what's the matter? You're homophobic or something, you know. No, I'm not homophobic. Do what you want. I'm not against you doing what you want in your own bedroom, okay? It's when what you did in your bedroom is being displayed in public places, and you're subjecting our children to it. That's when people go, no, we've had enough of that, okay? Don't do that, okay? Just don't do that, okay? A lot of Albertans are realizing that the firearm issue is about more than guns. Yeah, you have this Canadian firearm issue where people in Alberta own guns, okay? There's a lot of, farmers and people like that own guns in Alberta. A lot of people, my friends own guns. Everyone owns a gun out here. It's not like we're Americans where we're gun crazy, but a lot of people own guns. And the federal government has come up with this gun grab where it's like, oh, we have all of a sudden made these guns illegal. And a lot of people have invested a lot of money in their guns, really, honestly. And the government comes back and goes, well, we'll give you $200 for your gun if you bring your gun back before the 1st of, I don't know what the date was, 1st of May or something like that. And, some people did across Canada, but very, very few people returned their guns in, okay? So there's still, at this moment in time, literally probably hundreds of thousands of people that have guns in their possession that the federal government has deemed to be illegal, okay? And they're going to give you until October the 30th or something like that to turn your guns in. But the vote for independence is coming on October the 19th. So guess what? If we become an independent country, you don't have to give your guns back. You can keep your guns. All those guns. And you know what? We should even make handguns legal and make open carry legal. I would love that because I would love to have a gun with me walking around where I live here because there's wackos with spikes and knives and stuff like that running around trying to kill people. Lots of stabbings going on where it's a pretty stabby city here, Edmonton. Lots of deaths in Edmonton. Lots of crazy people. And we need protection. I need a gun in my house for for my own protection, for my family. Because right now, we need to bring in the castle laws into Alberta, which we're moving closer to that, with Daniel Smith every day. Remember Ralph Klein, he used to say, shoot, shovel, and forget, was his motto. But right now, if you actually shoot somebody that actually breaks your door down and comes into your house and you kill him, then you're going to be taken to court, okay? And you're the bad guy. Really, that's the way law is in Canada here right now, and we have to suffer under that, old, antiquated UK laws in Canada that don't give the average person the protection that you need against the more and more bad guys that are coming into the country. So October 19th, we vote for getting rid of that kind of stuff. What do you want? Or do you want to turn in your guns, right? That's what this meme is all about here. So in Alberta, if we vote yes for independence, we control our future. We keep our rights, okay, and we build a better Alberta. Or on October 30th, Canada decides what you're going to do. Your rights are gone. You live under their rules. You have to turn your guns into Ottawa, and it's actually going to be poorer for you, okay? So what do you want? Do you want a better Alberta? Or do you want a future where you have more and more control by the federal government? Hey, not rocket science at all. I think that you probably want to keep those $2,000 guns that they were going to give you $200. Now they're not going to give you anything. That gun buyback program is over. You're not going to get $200 for your gun. They're going to bust your door down on the 30th. After the 30th, the RCMP can bust your front door down if they determine that you're a gun owner. And if they think that you have a gun that's on that restricted list, they can bust your door down. They can come in to your home and they can remove whatever firearms that you have that are illegal. So think about that. What do you want? Do you want that to happen? Or are you going to vote for independence and you're going to be able to keep those weapons? And in fact, we will look at what is on that restricted list and even bring some of those weapons back to you that are not, mass destruction type weapons, but guns that have been inappropriately put on a ban list, right? Go over that list completely, because that a bunch of liberals that don't even know anything about guns made up those lists, right? And they have actually put some guns on that list that are not actually, supposed to be on that list. I know I've had friends of mine talk to me about that. So that's interesting that whole thing is happening. It's 1:06 in the afternoon. Hopefully you're having fun. PCG in there in the chat. Good to see you. I saw Climatics was in the chat having a bit of fun. Good to see you in there. A good friend of mine. Shout out to some of the other streamers out there that are popping in and out there. We got Johnny in the chat there as well. Good to see you. We got Troy in there. And Chef is in there. Good to see you. Good bro of A Beautiful Day. Good to see you all in there. You're watching the Tommy Temper Show. We're coming to you live from the elm lined streets of Old Strathcona, the NDP stronghold of Alberta. Yeah, the place where you're going to have most we want to stay in Alberta votes in all of Alberta. That's exactly where I am. And I'm the one stronghold of conservatism in this whole Old Strathcona area here. Out here, sticking my neck out like my neck is sticking out. And I actually some guy that knew where I lived and knew where my vehicle was when COVID was going on, he actually posted, "Tommy, I know where you live, and I'm going to wipe COVID-19 on the door handle of your car or your vehicle." He actually did that. He actually, that's how bad the lefties are here. And you know what? If you put a conservative sign on your front of your house, and I actually had that. This is what happened to me. where we put, and my friends that I convinced to put conservative signs during the election on the front of our properties. I actually had where the NDP people came over and they set the sign on fire. That's what they'll do. That's what the NDPers do. That's what the lefties do. If they don't like you putting a sign out on the front of your property that they don't like, that is like opposite political party than what they are, they'll actually set your sign on fire. That's what they'll do. To the point that I'm actually leery about putting an Alberta flag. This is how bad it is here. I am afraid of putting an Alberta flag out right outside my window here. Look, I'll show you the window right here. And you can see the balcony. I'm afraid to put a Alberta flag out in front of my house because of the retribution that will happen by the lefties, by the NDP party, because I live in such a staunch NDP area here. They've already set fire to signs, okay? They've burnt signs. They'll do that. Like, this is such an area where you've got these lefty NDP Antifa types that they will do stuff like that, where you see where people were, guess what? People were collecting signatures on the side of the road, and one guy comes up to him with a cigarette and butts his cigarette out on the guy's neck. The guy was collecting independent signatures, right? And the lefties butt a cigarette out on his neck. Like, that's how bad it is up here in Canada. Between the left faction, the Antifa, the NDP, the Liberals, that whole faction, against the Conservatives that want a better life, right? We want a better life. We want a better place to live. And the lefties are out there butting their cigarettes out on your neck, setting conservative signs on fire and stuff like that. It's a real stronghold. When you live in a stronghold that's a whole bunch of, and you know who these people are. They're teachers, because we're close to the university. They're nurses and union types that work at the hospitals, right? And other union members that work for the government, because there's government buildings all around here. They're close to the legislative grounds, right? And close to those buildings where all the union workers work at. And the unions are absolute lefties, right? When we go to a rally, okay, and it's a rally that, say, was put together by right-wingers, right? And then you're going to have the police there. And on the other side of the police, the flags that you're going to see are the communist flag, the Marxist flag, the union flag, the NDP flag, right? You really don't have a lot of liberals, so you don't really have liberals in Alberta. Liberals are like non gratis in Alberta. They're like nothing. Nobody votes for them. They don't have any seats in Parliament, and they're just plain nothing in Alberta. Like the liberals are just a lost cause. So you don't even see a liberal flag over there. But if there were any liberals in Alberta, you'd see a liberal flag. But the liberals in Alberta are actually members of the NDP. That's how it works, right? But they're all together. Oh, and I forgot one flag. The Antifa flag is also over there with them, right? So you know that they're all embedded. Oh, and you're also going to see the LGBTQ flag. Can't forget them. Can't leave them out of the mix, right? Because all of those people vote for NDP, right? The union votes for NDP. The LGBTQ community votes for the NDP. You've got the unionists, they're all brainwashed to vote NDP, right? So those are all of the group of people that are, no, we're against the independence, right? That's who's against independence in Alberta. Let's see, Birdie Num Num is out there. Let's show you the beautiful magpie outside the window here. Coming over for the little bit of water in the neighborhood. There's not much water, but Tommy Temper is nice enough to have a bowl of water and a little bit of food for the magpie out there. So they're the lovely magpies. And wow, that's a super long tail on that magpie. Holy smokes. The tail was like just as long as its body, maybe even longer. Yeah, beautiful birds outside here. And it's a beautiful neighborhood that I live in. But with exception for all the tweakers out there and the boarded up buildings, because there are a lot of boarded up buildings on the strip that, you know, since the days of COVID, it went downhill. Businesses went broke. Restaurants went broke. Even businesses like the Army and Navy store, which has been around since forever, it has to close down. And now you got buildings all boarded up and tweakers running around and graffiti all over the place. And things aren't as nice as it used to be, put it that way. Things could be better, a lot better than they are. Thanks, everyone, for joining us here. Chef in there. Hey, Chef, looking good. Thanks a lot for the kind words. Nice to see you in there. Looking beautiful. Thanks a lot for your comments in there. We've got Peachy G in there, which is actually G, our good friend G. Check out her channel. She does, she's very left. She's against Trump. Post stuff in there that makes fun of Trump and makes Trump look bad and whatever. But likes using AI, that nasty AI. Oh man, why are you using AI? I don't use AI on my channel. I'm real. Hey, you know, I'm not like that guy on Facebook that made a comment about me, who you know, said this. Let me just repeat what happened here. The guy is a little bit loony, I think. I think he's actually AI. But I got this comment that said, Tommy Temper is a manufactured site. It is not based in Canada and is generated as a PR firm in Israel. Oh my God. What? I'm somehow some kind of a PR generated from a PR firm in Israel, and I'm not real. I'm AI. Like, come on. What's the matter with you? They just took the contract. It's not necessarily Israel. There's a PR firm in the Netherlands. Oh, I'm something to do with the Netherlands. So I'm like AI generated from the Netherlands, and yeah, basically the bird outside of my window is not real. It's just AI. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the PR firm in Netherlands that hires actors to run fake separatist TikTok sites. The same people publishing this did mass migration, work, die, etc. Anything they could use as a wedge. Igor Kolomowski was managing similar propaganda campaigns in the Ukraine 20 years ago. Yeah, okay. I'm a manufactured AI piece of garbage. Yeah, right. Not exactly. Well, if I am AI, it's pretty good AI, I'd have to tell you. You know, I look very realistic, you know. Yeah, you should do some AI with me. Take my image, G, and then make some funny AI with me, you know. I would actually show it on the show here. Let's see. Just like the last guy, Crackhead Kenny, that was doing a whole show and made it Tommy Tempest. And he goes, Tommy Tempest, where's the dress? Tommy Tempest, where's the dress? Troy. You know, doing his rapping, saying, Tommy Tempest, Troy, is a boy, is a lady boy, Troy, you know. Oh, Crackhead Kenny. Jeez. Give me a frickin' break with that one. I don't mind people, you know, mocking me or, you know, whatever. But, hey, just because I took a wrench away, don't, you know, no reason to make fun of me. Tommy Temper is a great guy. Come on. Haven't you heard the audio? Come on. Tommy Temper is a great guy. One of the greatest.
Alberta's pride.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. This is who Tommy Temper is. Let's listen to it.
Out in Alberta where the Rockies rise, Tommy Temper streaming with fire in his eyes, from a lake house glowing in the moonlight's gleam. He's the YouTube king of the widest streams. Tommy Temper, you're a great guy.
There you go. That's who I am.
Skies. He's calling out the haters with truth in his lines, talking about the world from the left to the right. Tommy's got the mic, keeping it tight.
Tommy Temper.
You're a great guy, battling trolls with a spark in your eye.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here's a map of what North America looks like, and you guys down in the States have an awful lot of oil. Look at that. Look at how much oil you guys have. Why do you need our Alberta oil? You guys just, keep drilling, drill, baby, drill. And there's lots of places where you can drill, but it's all about where we're at here. If you look close, Alberta has an awful lot of oil, and then the next province over to the right of Alberta has oil also in the southern part there, really close to the border. That would be Saskatchewan. And, and really Saskatchewan right now has a Saskatchewan Prosperity Project where they're looking to separate. Let's look at the AI outside my window here. Here's Mr. Raven, who is coming over. Is he going to come over for a drink of water? He's eyeing the food dish there. He's getting a little bit hungry, middle of the day. It's a nice, bright, sunny day out there, too. A little bit windy, as you can tell, because he's kind of moving around there a little bit. No, he didn't want the water. He took off. But anyways, yeah, you can see that Alberta has a lot of oil. In fact, the whole province is covered with oil. That's why we see drilling rigs all over the place. It doesn't matter where you drive. You could be in southern Alberta, middle of Alberta, except up the far, far northern part of Alberta. You can see there's not much oil up there. But actually, that's where you see above the word Alberta is where all the tar sands are. Lots of tar sands north of the word Alberta on that map there. Let me just have a drink of water here. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good. Basically, lots of oil everywhere. Let me put up my oil rig here. We need some oil pumps or something like that behind me, just to prove that this is what I see driving between Edmonton and Sylvan Lake along the road. I actually shot this video. Tommy Temper shot this video. This is not, some copyright. Somebody else did this. Stock footage from Shutterfly or something like this. This is actual footage that I took with my own camera. And, hey, I'm... oh, hang on. Phone call coming in. Hang on a second. Let me get this phone call. Stand by. Let me just get it on here. Hang on, I have to mute my microphone here. Okay, that was just a phone call from John. And the last thing he said to me was, the people have the power. Which, yeah, I would have to agree. The people have the power. And the power is in democracy, right? Democracy is what it's all about. And we have a democracy. We live in a democracy. And in a democracy, you put things to a vote. And when a vote happens, the people will decide what they want to do. And that's what it's all about. In Alberta, guys like me are fed up with the federal government. Some people think the federal government is good for Alberta. If you're a newbie, just a new immigrant in Alberta, well, probably you came to Canada with help from the Liberal government. So in your mind, the Liberal government is your king. It's like at the top. And you probably would not want to do anything to appease the Liberal government that brought you into Canada. But if you're living in Alberta, we're not liberal. Alberta is not a liberal area here. Alberta is a conservative area, and we do not like what the Liberal government does, okay? So regardless of who you are or who brought you into Canada or how you came into Canada, if you're living in Alberta, then you should go with the flow and, come over to us conservatives here, okay? Liberal government is in Ottawa, in Ontario, in Quebec, in other provinces, okay? So come over to our side here. And the conservative in Alberta is absolutely pro-independence, right? Pro-independence. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this podcast. That's why we're voting. That's why 300,000 people signed a petition saying we're done with Canada. We've already had it with you guys. We've already had votes, democratic votes, to get rid of this unfair equalization program that is sucking our oil money. You can see the oil rigs are running. They're pulling oil out of the ground. The oil is being converted to money, and the money is being sent out east. I guess that would be east on my picture here, to Ottawa. So what do we want? We want more independence, okay? That's what it's all about. And I'm not making this stuff up. That's why I'm pro-independence for Alberta. Here we go. This is what it's all about. Thank you very much. Okay. What is it? 1:26 in the afternoon here. Let's get down to the chat here. Any questions? Any questions about independence? I'm going to look really, really close at the chat and see if there are any questions about independence here. Okay, I see something here. Tommy Temper. Its citizens of USA will come over, but only to Calgary, not Edmonton. Okay, that's fine. Come on, immigrate to Canada here. Come on over. You can live in Calgary. You can live in Edmonton. You can live in wherever you want in Alberta. If you're somewhere else in Canada, come on over and join the party. You can immigrate to Alberta here. Definitely, there are jobs in Alberta. It's a land of milk and honey. In Edmonton here, I can ride around in my e-bike and I see buildings being built all over the place. Houses being torn down, and 8plexes being built in their places, all over the places. We're building the 15-minute city here, so you don't even need a car. All you need is an e-bike to ride to the hospital, to the store, the food store, to the hardware store, to anything. You don't even need a car. All you need is a bicycle here, and you can ride to anything and everything that you want. In fact, where I live here in Old Strathcona, which is not where the air rigs are there, but where I live, I could actually walk to the hospital, walk to the 3 different food stores, Safeway store, Save On Food, and Food for Less. Really close to where I live here. Got dollar stores really close. Got all kind of restaurants, all kind of bars where you can go party at nighttime. Just anything and everything, movie theaters, everything is right close, really within walking distance. This is actually probably the best place to live in Edmonton. But that being said, the bad part of living here is that they moved in one of these drugstores that gives away free opioids to the drug addicts that the drug addicts take those free opioids and then they trade them for carfentanil out on the street, or they sell them for money and then use that money to buy carfentanil, because carfentanil is like, it's like a way better drug than just fentanyl, right? Or the opioids that they get for free from the drug dispensary, I call it. It's like it's a drugstore with no windows on it, but just a doorway where the drug addicts can go in and whatever. They just get the free drugs, you know. And they set one of them up right in my neighborhood here. And yeah, it's been a hellhole ever since they set that thing up. More and more drug addicts appearing here out of the blue every day. So not a good situation for us here in Edmonton. We need to do something about that liberalism that is pro setting up stuff like that. Like, really, honestly, it's not good. Yeah, the petition was the first step. Absolutely the first step. And now we're moving to the second step, which is going for independence. The petition was the first step. Alberta isn't just a place, it's a mindset. That's what so many people across Canada don't understand. Okay? From the outside, they reduce us to cowboy hats, oil, and rodeos. Yeah, or rednecks and stuff like that, you know. You know that. Or traders, or seppies, and, you know, just call us whatever name in the book that you want. Rednecks, that kind of stuff, right? But that's just the surface. What actually defines Alberta runs deeper, and you only really understand it if, oh, let's read the rest of it here. Lots here to read. If, the next part, if you've lived here. This land attracts people who value independence, responsibility, hard work, and freedom. That's what binds us together, not language or ethnicity, but shared values. That's why we think differently. That's why we vote differently. And that's why we've never fit into the Canadian model. Canada, especially at the federal level, is built around centralized control and managed outcomes. Alberta was built by the people who rejected that. People who accepted the hardship when it came and took responsibility for building their own future. That is our culture. People say, oh, you Alberta don't have the culture like us in Quebec. Oh, we do. We absolutely do have culture. We have the culture of the redneck Albertan. Right? I'll be the first one to say that. Yes, we are separatist. Yes, we are, well, you can call us a traitor, and we put it on our back as a badge. It is a badge of honor. Okay? Right here, maybe right here. I need a badge. Where's some kind of a badge here? Here's a badge. It's like a badge of honor. Okay? It is the separatist badge of honor. We wear it with pride here in Alberta. Yeah. Just like the separatists in Quebec, okay? That's one thing. That's the one thing that Alberta has in common with Quebec, is that you guys are separatists and we're separatists. Other than that, there's nothing in common with Quebec, okay? Yeah. But you guys are like way more vocal, and you guys set off way more fireworks than we do in Alberta here, especially at the convoy in Ottawa. Yeah. Canada, especially at the federal level, is built around centralized control and managed outcomes. Alberta was built by people who rejected that, people who accepted hardship when it came to and took responsibility for building their own future. That is our culture. That is also why Canadians misunderstand us, okay? Yeah, they misunderstand us. They absolutely do. What they see as asking too much, we see as demanding what we are already earned. They see Alberta as a colony to be managed. We see Alberta as a nation ready to decide its own future. The petition was the first step. It wasn't just signatures. It was proof. Proof that the mindset is real, shared and growing. Proof that people believe in each other and have hope for our future. Okay, our good future. Now comes the shift. We need to stop thinking like activists and start thinking like founders. Founders don't wait. Founders don't ask permission. Founders build. We're building our own country here in Alberta. This isn't just pushback anymore. This is creation. People are coming together around an identity that has always been here, but is finally being recognized. We are Albertans, and we are founding as a nation, okay? The petition was the first step, just the first step. We're here. There you can see all of us here. There's Alberta, there's the petition, and we're all together. 300,000 of us are all together in founding a nation. We are Albertans. We are family. We are freedom. We work to build a legacy. Faith surrounds us, grounds us. Independent by choice. That's what we are. We are Albertans. True and free. We can do it. We can absolutely do it if we work hard enough. That's why I'm here. We need to talk to everybody else, and we need to make sure that everyone is on board when this whole thing happens. We don't need Russia interfering in us. We don't need Americans interfering with us. We don't need the Netherlands interfering with what we're doing. We can do it all by ourselves. We don't need stuff that's going on there. Keith Wilson says, Ray, the mistake of assuming that this is a geography problem. It isn't. It's a governance of failure. Canada was founded on a core constitutional principle. No province can block another province's access to markets. That is precisely why interprovincial pipelines, railways, and ports fall under exclusive federal jurisdiction. The federal government's job is to ensure goods and resources move freely across the provinces. And right now, the federal government is saying, cap on oil, cap on pipelines, cap on ships transporting on the coast. You know, that's what the problem is. And really, Canada was founded on a principle of no province blocking another province's access to markets. And right now, Alberta is absolutely being blocked by the federal government, right? And, you know, Carney now is like, oh, well, we'll maybe build a pipeline, or maybe we'll have some kind of an MOU that nothing is happening with it. There's no agreements made. There's no schedule of anything happening. Nothing is happening other than words coming out of Carney. And Carney is nothing more than a wordsmith. He's giving things to other provinces. He's spending money in other provinces, but he's doing absolutely nothing for Alberta. What we are seeing today is just the opposite. Federal government has repeatedly stated that BC and certain First Nations effectively have veto power over Alberta's resources, transiting BC. The position directly contradicts the Constitution and a foundational principle of Confederation Canada. This, in respect, is no longer functioning as designed. Ironically, this is why the landlocked Alberta argument fails. Under a properly functioning Canada, Alberta is not landlocked at all. Ottawa is simply refusing to exercise its authority it already has. Okay? And here's what the part that the critics ignore. An independent Alberta would actually have leverage. Canada refuses to use. Okay, roughly $17 billion in BC exports move eastward through Alberta by rail and highway. Alberta would control that transit as a sovereign state, just as other inland countries do through transit agreements. Independence wouldn't eliminate trade routes. It would require mutual access agreements, okay? You want to feed transit of goods through Alberta while facilitate transit of oil through your territory as well, especially British Columbia. And other provinces. Make a pipeline to the east as well. Why not? Look at, you guys are going to be in hardship whenever there's any blockage of oil to the east. And this blockage of oil is huge. What's happening in the Middle East is huge. Like, this is going to go on for a year. You're going to see high price of oil for a year, really, honestly. Because even if the whole thing went back to normal today, in the Middle East, and those ships were allowed to start loading up, the infrastructure is being damaged. They can't load as much oil as they did before. They can't load as much LNG as they could before. It's going to be probably at least a year before that LNG infrastructure is being put back to normal again. You're going to see the prices of oil increase here repeatedly. And what we're seeing here today is pricing based on what happened in the Middle East 2 weeks ago. Okay, we're going to see the price of oil pop up here like in the next little while, where you're seeing the price of Middle Eastern OPEC oil at around $100 a barrel. You're going to actually see that pop up to probably $150 a barrel. So you're going to see the price at your pumps pop up a lot in the future here. It will not go down before it goes up. It will go up before it goes down. We should have had this all organized with pipelines and oil and everything else here a long time ago, but because of the ineptness and the net zero policy and keep it in the ground, lock it up, Trudeau said he wanted to phase out oil sands. That was the mindset of the federal government. It was like that under Trudeau, and as soon as Carney got in, it was exactly the same. So if Carney does budge at all here at the moment, it's going to be under duress because he doesn't really want to do it at all. He wants to keep the oil in the ground, right? He wants net zero. He wants taxation on our oil, and actually we're being taxed right now to the point that nobody wants to drill anything. Nobody wants to pull any more oil out of the ground. Why should you when you're going to be carbon taxed so heavily? So that's where we're at right now. Independence wouldn't eliminate trade routes. It would require mutual access agreements where leverage runs both ways. Canada currently allows BC to block Alberta, while Alberta has no reciprocal authority. That asymmetry disappears under independence. That's the reason we need independence, so that we can get our oil to port, and we can do that by controlling what comes through Alberta to the rest of Canada. Because all of those Canadian Tire widgets flow from China. They come off the ship in BC. They get onto a rail car, and all those rail cars, I see them. There are hundreds and hundreds of rail cars with Canadian Tire on them and the rest of the lines flowing on trains that go right through Alberta, right through Saskatchewan, right through Manitoba, right to Ontario and Quebec, where all the people are. Lots of people there. That's where all the people live. They live in Quebec and Ontario. That's why when you guys vote Liberal, it's like you get so many MPs in because of your population that votes Liberal out east there that we don't get any representation out west here. So if we don't get any representation and all we get is hammered on by the Liberal government, we've had enough. We've had enough. In fact, it doesn't matter whether the Conservatives get in or the Liberals get in. We get nothing from the federal government. Nothing at all. Nothing. We're just left to squander on our own and to wait in big lineups in hospitals and pay high gas prices because of GST, federal taxes, gas taxes, clean fuel tax. What the hell? Instead of a carbon tax, Carney calls it a clean fuel tax. So he goes, I got rid of the carbon tax. And then he brings in the clean fuel tax. What the hell is a clean fuel tax? There's no such thing as clean fuel. It's fuel. Naming something green or clean or decarbonized or whatever is just bullshit. It's all bullshit from the federal government. And we're sick and tired of that crap. Yeah, the Queenie tax. Yeah, exactly. Axe the tax. Queenie was sitting in the ditch with her sign, Axe the tax. She was absolutely against Ottawa. So Queenie, you for one should be pro-Alberta independence because it's against all of those colonizers that colonized you from Ottawa. Don't you want to get away from the colonizers and move to the non-colonizers like Tommy Temper? Hey, I'm a non-colonizer. I was born in Alberta. I'm actually a true blue Albertan, more so than most of the people that just got here off of a boat or something like that. Oh no, Tommy's a racist for saying that. No, yeah, right. We just tell you the way it is, and that's all there is. That's all there is to it. The question isn't whether Alberta is landlocked. It's why the federal government is failing to enforce the Constitution and why Albertans are expected to accept permanent economic obstruction with no leverage at all. Right? It's like we're being suffocated here. We're being suffocated in Alberta, and we need to do something against it. What do you call it when you do something like that? Is it obsuffocation? I don't know. But we have to do something. Obfuscation. Obfuscation. I don't know. Yeah, well, it's obsuffocation is more likely it. But, yeah, we have to do something. And, yeah, we're doing something. We're doing something by taking signatures of those people that want out of Canada, out of Confederation, and to make Alberta a better place. By the way, I played this, and I got a strike. I got a strike for playing this because somebody made this, and it has the Russian anthem in it, and I got a strike from Russia on their national anthem. And somebody said, I have the new Alberta national anthem. Listen here. And it's actually the Russian national anthem. Yeah, and it says, go F off CBC and the rest. Let's see. Put that back on there again. Where is it? Where does it say that? Oh, no. I don't want to get a strike. Hang on here. It's a Russian anthem. Oh, it says, now, go fuck off, CBC, CTV, Global, etc. Yeah, exactly. That I agree with. That I absolutely agree with. I'll agree with that. Looking good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the NDP. The not only the BC NDP, any NDP anywhere is basically needles, drugs, and poverty, NDP. This is a Canadian political party. They're like your Democrats in the States. They're pretty much, they promote crap like that, make the whole country like a hellhole. Then we have this thing here that came up, which is a little meme that somebody made, which is you've got the people with the referendum with all the signatures on the left there, and then you've got the government officials saying, this is exactly what we needed. No referendum for you because of a data breach, And it's like, what, do you think this so-called data breach is going to stop the referendum, stop independence, stop the vote? Not likely. But on the other hand, hey, thanks a lot for advertising the fact that we want independence by talking about it incessantly. Oh, data breach this, data breach that. Oh, my name is on a data breach. Jason Kenney, oh, I'm going to take you to court because somebody said something about me and because my name is on a list of a data breach, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, free advertising for the independence movement, okay? Thanks a lot for talking about it incessantly. We appreciate that. Great. No problem whatsoever. Oh, we went over this already. This is why we want independence. Let's get the drugs out of Alberta, get the people in rehab places, and quit with all the people flailing out there on the streets and doing the fent bent and drugged up like crazy. Arrest the drug dealers, okay? It's by the way, it's really if you say that open drugs is okay and being in possession of a small quantity of drugs is okay, fine. Okay, well then why don't the police address this is to you, Edmonton City Police. This, if you're watching this, and somebody said, well, Tommy, we can't do anything for you. Why don't you get a hold of the police commissioner and talk to the police commissioner? Well, this is what I say to you, Mr. Police Commissioner, whether it be in Calgary or Edmonton or whoever's in charge of the RCMP. If you're not going to arrest the guy like this that is flailing out on the streets, who's the small-time drug dealer, who's running into traffic and causing a nuisance and stealing and robbing and from the stores, from breaking into sheds, breaking into garages, breaking into cars, stealing packages off the front of our houses like I did just the other day, then maybe why don't you address the drug dealers? And let me tell you how easy it is, okay? This is how you can tell who the drug dealer is, okay? he rides a little bicycle. Okay? If you ever see somebody riding a little bicycle, 9 times out of 10, if he rides his bicycle up to the drug addicts, okay, and then you can see him with a little transaction with drugs and money, that guy is the drug dealer, okay? It's really easy to figure out who the drug dealer is because he's riding the little bicycle, okay? And he's going to this group of people and selling them drugs. Then he rides his bicycle over to that group of people, asks them whether they need any drugs. If they don't do, he sells them drugs. If they don't, then he rides his bicycle to the next location. Okay? It's really, really easy to tell who the drug dealer is. And if you're not going to arrest the people that are doing drugs out on the street, well, then arrest the drug dealers. Okay? It's just that simple, right? Edmonton City Police, come on, grab a brain, arrest the drug dealers if you're not going to address the people. Get the drug dealers off the streets, because if you can arrest the drug dealers, then you're arresting the supply of drugs, and then the people that are out on the streets don't get any drugs, and then they go, oh, I think I need some rehab because I don't get any drugs, and then send them over into rehab and help those people, okay? And from the top end down, stop the supply of drugs coming into our country. Stop the East Indian people with the drug dens that are producing the drugs, which you know that they are. You've got an awful lot of criminals that are coming into this country, and we've seen, groups of these people being arrested. I've seen their mug shots. I've seen where you guys do make an arrest from the top end down of these drug dens where they're producing the drugs, the factories, the drug factories. Shut those things down. Make it a big priority to do that. Not like right now where it's apparently not a big priority. It's not a priority at all. The drugs are flooding in. Stop the drugs at the border. Find out who it is that's bringing the drugs in. Check the license plates. That's why we need border guards at the borders of the roads coming into Alberta, right? Stop the drugs from coming in and stop the drug dealers. And when you do arrest a drug dealer, well, get him to reduce his sentence by telling you where he's getting the drugs from, right? The plea deal. Use the plea deal on the drug dealer to find out who the supplier is of the drugs. It's not fucking rocket science, okay? Come on, you guys. Just get on board, get on with the program, and work on this whole problem instead of just sitting around, standing around, doing nothing. Oh, which I saw that the other day. I did a video of about 10 cops all standing around there, around City Hall, doing absolutely nothing from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock while they were still on the clock. Doing absolutely nothing, just standing there talking to each other. It was city cops, and it was the guys that are a little bit less, the bylaw type cops, whatever, just standing around doing nothing, just talking to each other. It's just a waste of resources. You guys could have been finding a guy on a little bicycle selling drugs and stuff like that, Like, hey, this stuff is not rocket science. Okay, yeah, but otherwise... CBC is the bad one in this story here, where CBC is always making suggestions that Russia has to do with this, Russia has something to do with that. It's all Russia. No, Russia is not funding me. I'm not getting money from Russia. I'm not getting any money from China. I'm not getting any money from the US of A. In fact, I didn't even get one super chat here on the stream here today, right? And I've been live for 2 hours and 57 minutes. So that clock says that I'm going to be streaming for 30 minutes. No, I'm not. I'm actually going to be stopping the stream here right now. Thanks a lot, everyone, for being with us today. This is the Tommy Temper Show. I am Tommy Temper. Thanks a lot for watching the show, and we will see you the next time we are live. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, stay out of trouble, and support Alberta independence. Thank you very much. Appreciate your company. See you later.
He's calling out the haters with truth in his lines, talking about the world from the left to the right. Tommy's got the mic, keeping it tight. Tommy Temper.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Appreciate your company. And we will do it again. Let's see how many thumbs up we got. Give us a thumbs up at least. Appreciate that. 42 thumbs up. Woo-hoo. Looking good.
With a wink and a grin, he's taking on the fight, spilling all the tea in the YouTube life. From the hot tub to the Rockies, he's living it free. Tommy tempers the streamer.
We'll be filling up the hot tub this weekend too. So maybe I'll do a hot tub stream. Oh. That'll be fun. We can be on the Kick lineup there when you click Kick hot tub streams, and we'll be in there. Woo. Thanks everyone. Appreciate it. Lucid. Hey, hey, hey. Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye for now. See ya. End broadcast. Okay. Push button. Over.